that they are facing allegations of backdoor, but the BJP only sees backdoor to rule. Now I quote what he said: "They are breaking parties in every part of the country. What they did to the NCP, the Aam Aadmi Party, Shiv Sena, and the TMC." And he also continues to say that they are doing the same to the NC, and saying that BJP continues to break the party. Let's take a listen to his full statement.
लेकिन क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों ने उनकी हुकूमत नहीं बनाई, आज रियासत का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है लोगों को सजा देने के लिए। क्या यही जमहूरियत है कि आप रियासत एक लालच के तौर पे इस्तेमाल करो? सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आपने क्यों नहीं कहा कि हम लालच देंगे लोगों को स्टेटहुड का? लेकिन क्योंकि जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों ने उनकी हुकूमत नहीं बनाई, आज रियासत का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है लोगों को सजा देने के लिए। क्या यही जमहूरियत है कि आप रियासत एक लालच के तौर पे इस्तेमाल करो? सुप्रीम कोर्ट में आपने क्यों नहीं कहा कि हम लालच देंगे लोगों को स्टेटहुड का?
And viewers, and also Republic has also spoken to BJP leader Sunil Sharma and has strongly hit back at the statement given by Omar Abdullah and his charges against the BJP. Let's listen into what he had to say.
सर, कल 30 करोड़ रुपए का आरोप जो है भारतीय जनता पार्टी पर लगा था। आज कहा गया है कि भाजपा ये डिनाई नहीं कर सकती कि वो कोशिशें कर रही है पार्टियां तोड़ने का। नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के जो पार्टी पर भी जो है खतरा है, ऐसा उनकी तरफ से कहा गया। और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात, उन्होंने टीएमसी, शिवसेना, उसके अलावा आम आदमी पार्टी और तमाम जो पार्टियां हैं एनसीपी, वो गिनवाई कि इन पार्टियों को जो है बीजेपी ने तोड़ा है। ऑपरेशन लोटस उन्होंने कहा कि बड़े फख्र से जो है बीजेपी कहती है।
बड़ी बदकिस्मती की बात है कि जिस क्षेत्र का, जिस यूनियन टेरिटरी का चीफ मिनिस्टर, जिसके ऊपर जिम्मेदारी है लोगों की बेबूदी की, डेवलपमेंट की, सुरक्षा की, और पौने 2 साल से जितने भी प्रोमिसेस इनने किए थे इस गवर्नमेंट ने या इस चीफ मिनिस्टर ने, उन सब में ये विफल होते हैं। और विफलता के बाद जिस प्रकार से अब ये पेंट कर रहे हैं, अपने आप को विक्टिम बना रहे हैं, कहीं न कहीं ये स्पष्ट करता है कि ये उन प्रोमिसेस को डाइवर्ट करना चाहते हैं जो लोग आज इनसे पूछ रहे हैं। जहाँ तक ये बात कर रहे हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी कहीं पे तोड़ना चाहती है सरकारों की, मैं स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूँ दोबारा से, हालांकि मैं कोई डिफेंसिव नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, इसको अपनी पार्टी खुद टूट चुकी है अपने इन कुकृत्यों के कारण, अपने इन कारनामों के कारण, और वो पार्टी टूट चुकी है। उसमें भाजपा का कोई रोल नहीं। मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ जिम्मेदारी के साथ, जो इसकी पार्टी टूट चुकी है उसमें हमारा कोई रोल नहीं है। हमारा रोल तब होता जब हम सरकार बनाने की कोई प्रक्रिया शुरू करते। मैं जिम्मेदारी के साथ कहता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जम्मू कश्मीर में इस टूटी हुई पार्टी के साथ कभी सरकार बनाएगी ही नहीं।
पार्टी तोड़ रही
नहीं तो हम तोड़ेंगे क्यों? हमें आवश्यकता क्यों है तोड़ने की? क्योंकि हम सरकार का हिस्सा बनने तो नहीं जा रहे। जब मैं क्लियर कर रहा हूं, स्पष्ट कर रहा हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार कतई भी किसी भी कीमत पे नहीं बनाएगी, तो दैट मीन्स हम तोड़ेंगे नहीं। तो अपनी टूटी हुई पार्टी को ये किसी के सर पे फोड़ना चाहता है। सवाल ये पैदा होता है कि इस वक्त जो इसको फेल्यूर अपना पूरे कश्मीर में दिख रहा है, उसके लिए योद्धा बनना चाहता है।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी is very frank, firm and forthright. We have not broken any political party across the country. If parties break down on account of their own inherent contradictions, on account of their own ideological differences, on account of, because the parties are not driven by ideologies, these parties are just cobbled up just for sake of the power, misleading rhetorics, misleading manifestos and misleading leader formations and organizational setups also. Let us talk specifically with regard to Jammu and Kashmir. We have dared Omar Abdullah, we have asked him very clear, very categoric, and we plan to pursue illegal action also. An elected chief minister cannot spread uncertainty like it. His MLA was purchased, whom it was offered. Today again he repeated the parrot cry, but he took a different line. BJP is doing this, and you talk about what you are going to do in Jammu and Kashmir. Why doesn't he talk that national conference is under the garb of this creating these issues and all, we could say commotions and confusion just out of thin air. National Conference is itself facing an internal rebellion. A big section of National Conference is opposing the family dynastic rule. You have come to see that National Conference, Mr. Omar Abdullah wanted to field his son from one of the legislative seats, but there was an internal pressure and the baton could not be transferred to generation number 4. So there's a big uprising, there's a big rebellion.
NC will fall apart, that is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, on account of its own internal weight, on account of its own inherent contradictions, on account of the Himalayan blunders and the, what we say, that utopian promises it has made in the manifesto, which it will never fulfill.
BJP is not in a fray to form the government?
Bharatiya Janata Party will neither break any political party nor at present in any position or has any plan to form government in Jammu and Kashmir.
And shifting focus to a major story coming in from Kolkata. Namaz prayers have now been suspended at the 136-year-old Bankara Mosque located inside the Kolkata airport premises from Saturday following a decision to relocate the historic mosque outside the airport boundary due to major security concerns. The mosque is situated near the second runway of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose International Airport. According to airport authorities, its location approximately 165 meters from the runway was creating safety concerns for aircraft movement, particularly during emergency landing situations. Now, following discussions between the state government and the central government, a decision has now been taken to shift the mosque in the interest of the aviation safety and passenger security. Take a look at this report.
Suvendu government has done what Mamata could not do for years. A decision has been taken to relocate the 136-year-old Bankara Mosque located inside the operational area of Kolkata Airport, ending a decades-long standoff over aviation safety, airport expansion and political will. The mosque predates the airport itself, but over the years its location just 165 meters from the secondary runway became a major operational challenge for airport authorities. The structure restricts full utilization of the runway, limits critical upgrades and falls short of modern aviation safety norms.
Inside that, this is the high security zone, strategically very much important. The international airport is there, and inside every day at least 10 to 25 persons a day, 5 times a day, they used to come here. They used to offer their 5-time namaz offerings, and they used to come not in groups, as an individual, as 2 or 3 people at a time, and then again some more people. And on the Jummah days, I mean on Fridays, the number would rise up to 80 to 90 to 100 people.
The issue had remained unresolved through successive governments from the CPM era to the TMC government in West Bengal. Now, under the Suvendu Adhikari-led BJP government, the relocation process has moved forward, with authorities reaching a decision that previous regimes could not implement. Officials now say the mosque will be relocated to an alternative site soon, clearing the way for fuller runway utilization.
And now, viewers, the controversy over the unauthorized bridge in Manipur has taken a fresh turn. Days after Republic highlighted questions over the bridge's construction without government approval, a Kuki organization has written a letter criticizing the coverage. However, the bigger question remains, how was such a massive structure built without the state government's knowledge? Here's a report. Let's take a look for more information on that.
Last week, Republic broadcast following the report of the controversial bridge that was constructed without government approval. The Kuki group, Kuki INPI, has now written an open letter criticizing Republic for calling the bridge a conduit bridge. They have now said bridge will not be misused, adding that it was built with the money from contributions to end the sufferings and drowning in the area.
The controversy surrounding the unauthorized bridge across Manipur River has taken a new turn. Just a day after the state security forces had been deputed to verify the construction, the bridge was inaugurated today before any action could be taken by the authorities. The bridge, which connects Singhu village in Churachandpur district with Walku village in Chandal district, had already drawn widespread attention after authorities concerned reportedly denied having any knowledge of the project or granting permission for its construction. This development has further intensified security concerns. The bridge is located in a sensitive area where, according to local sources, smugglers had allegedly been transporting narcotics and arms by crossing the Manipur River to avoid security checkpoints on the main roads. With the bridge now operational, concerns are growing that movement across the river could become even easier if adequate surveillance is not put in place.
However, the fact remains that this bridge is not authorized by the government and not cleared. The Chief Minister of Manipur told reporters he wasn't even aware and that he would now gather facts.
Charaduga Chandel the Handak Tongama Sangagi Bagingarang, Paum Lice, Langak, Kangho, the Harish Kamina to Pudanomsa. The official in a Pagi Togibali take what they another Minama.
Now, how did the state government not know? Especially when they say villages paid for it, the entire episode shows negligence by the state.
Mipia kona loan hanlang fria kimuyong le lak som git le lak ko le sang som li obliga kona hen 2,65,75,352 crore ni le lak som gup langa sang som sagi langa le jatum la som ngala cheng ni hi dam se pion ke to do hi tu nai report cham cha kan pe hinten.
How is it possible that such a bridge was constructed across the river with thousands attending the inauguration and the government just doesn't know? The bridge is now being celebrated by cookie groups.
Government of Manipur in a door here lang hile kahung lo de hin singat pale chandil enle ho ngan si thi ai wanga eho government la akale sei se jong ha ne pen ai wanga tu ne mu thi na sa pen bol do government of Khulmi Gamo na to ai je asu ave mo ki papi mo hung ke ati kan si.
The bridge is constructed a short distance from high security locations. Regardless of this controversy, how the bridge came into being is now becoming the focus.
The concern becomes even more serious because the bridge is located close to high security areas. How did the state government didn't know about this massive project? So today, this issue is no longer just about a bridge. It is about accountability. Who allowed this construction? Who ensured there was no government oversight? And how did such a major infrastructure project come up without the knowledge of the very government responsible for regulating it? On March 21, 2024, the Dane state government, through the Deputy Commissioner of Chandal, had issued a written order directing that the purpose bridge construction be stopped immediately. Yet after 2 years later, a new bridge has not only been completed but also inaugurated.
With that, we come to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching, but we'll continue to track more stories on the other side. Coming up after a very short break, we'll take a deep dive into US launching third round of attacks against Iran in retaliation to an Iranian attack on a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Coming up next.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट? स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल बनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला।
एक घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका परेशान जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी उंदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है, और इसमें उसको भी इंदौर रेफर किया गया है, महिला को वहाँ उनके इलाज के लिए रेफर किया गया है। तो पूरा ख्याल रखा जा रहा है। बाकी हम लोग पूरी टीम यहाँ पे जो है हमारी लगी है, FSL की टीम भी आई है, हमारे जो फिंगरप्रिंट की टीम भी है, हमारे साइबर प्लस जो हमारी आसपास के थाने की टीम यहाँ पे आ गई है। इनको मैंने पूरा जल्दी से जल्दी 24 घंटे 28 घंटे के अंदर में पकड़ को निकालने का प्रयास किया जाएगा पुलिस की तरफ से।
सर, पुलिस ने अभी तक कोई धारा में कार्रवाई की है?
हाँ, पुलिस इसमें जो है क्योंकि आदमी इसमें 5-6 बताए जा रहे हैं, तो डकैती की धारा प्लस 376 जो उसने बलात्कार किया है, इसकी धारा इसमें लगी।
There is outrage in the area after the incident. Demands are being made for a fair investigation, financial assistance, and the removal of the station in charge. The SP visited the crime scene and instructed officials to take strict action. Officials said investigators had recovered some evidence from the crime scene but declined to share details as the probe was underway.
Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. Best debater or I'm a crazy debater.
Hello viewers, a very good afternoon to you. I'm Chongtham Amrita. You're watching Republic. India's defense story is entering a transformative new era, powered by indigenous innovation, cutting-edge emerging technology, and a rapidly expanding defense industrial ecosystem. As the nation accelerates its journey towards strategic self-reliance and the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, Republic brings together the policymakers, defense leaders, innovators, and industry pioneers shaping the future of national security. Join us on the 18th of July in New Delhi for Republic Defense Forces first conclave, Bharat the Defense Powerhouse, where the spotlight will be on the next generation military technologies, advanced defense platforms, indigenous capabilities, and the government and industry partnerships driving India's technology transformation. Stay tuned for insightful conversations, exclusive perspectives, and the ideas that will define the future of India's defense ecosystem. But first, for now, let's take a quick check at the headlines. Bengaluru delivery agent arrested for sexually harassing women inside her flat. Second post-mortem report into Isha Sharma case. Report links gym belt to her injuries. Woman gang raped by 6 men after robbery in Madhya Pradesh. Search underway to nab the accused. Forty hostel students fall ill after meal in Maharashtra's Nandurbar, 25 of them hospitalized. Trump's closest aide in war against Iran, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham dies. Suddenly, MAGA support base calls for a detailed probe. Iran's IRGC Navy has closed the Strait of Hormuz again until further notice over U.S. interference. U.S. launches third round of strikes against Iran in retaliation to an Iranian attack on a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Beginning with a major story from Telangana, and this after an 18-year-old student from Hyderabad, Manidip Reddy, who went missing in Finland in May, has now been found dead in Helsinki. Manidip Reddy, who was studying in Finland, was last seen at a supermarket in Helsinki at May 5, and he had traveled on a train around 5 p.m. local time and was last seen in a K-market at around 8 p.m. And later, a body was found in the sea during the search conducted by the authorities, who has identified as the Indian student who went missing. And now the family of Manidip Reddy is disputing claims by Finnish authorities that the body found in the water is their son. As per the family, police have told them that they had identified the boy as Manidip, but they have refused to share a picture when the family demanded proof for identification. And now the family are saying that the identification is false and is urging the Finland police and the investigation department to provide concrete proof confirming that the body found is their deceased son.
और ये बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट न्यूज़ आई है, लेकिन आप बोल रहे हैं कि जो बॉडी जो अभी डिस्कवर हुई है, पुलिस ने कोई पिक्चर नहीं भेजा है।
हाँ, सच है ये बात।
अच्छा, पुलिस अभी क्या बोल रही है आपको? जो फिनिश अथॉरिटीज हैं, आपको क्या बोला है?
क्या बोला है? कुछ भी नहीं बोला है। यहाँ ऐसा बोला है, कार्ड्स आए, ये का बेटा है बोल के कंफर्म कर दिया है एकदम से। कुछ प्रूफ्स नहीं है, डीएनए टेस्ट नहीं है, मेरा बेटा है बोल के मुझे कंफर्म ही नहीं करे। कितना क्वेश्चंस पूछे हम, उसका आंसर ही नहीं दिए। फिर इन लोग कंफर्म करके पेपर में भी रिलीज कर दिए। ऐसा थोड़ी होता है। मेरा बेटा बोल के मैं कंफर्म नहीं करना है क्या?
अच्छा, यस
किसका हक है मेरा बेटा मुझे नहीं दिखाने के पहले कंफर्म करने के लिए? मैं प्रूफ किया हूँ क्या मेरा बेटा है बोल के? हाँ, पूरा मीडिया में कैसे स्प्रेड करते हैं ये बात सही या गलत? कंफर्म ही नहीं किया, ऐसा कैसे स्प्रेड कर दिए? कौन से हिसाब से स्प्रेड कर दिए?
आपने लास्ट टाइम कब बात की थी मणिदीप से?
4 मई को कॉल किया, बात किया हूँ मैं।
अच्छा,
हाँ, 2 महीने से उनको कुछ भी नहीं मिला है। अभी मैं प्रेशर कर दिए तो 1 वीक में 16 को हियरिंग है कोर्ट में। ये 1 वीक में बॉडी मिल गया उन लोग को। 3 बार ढूंढ चुकी है वो सी को। हाँ, कभी कुछ भी नहीं मिला है। अभी 16 तारीख को जजमेंट है बोल के ऐसे ही मिल गया बॉडी, इतना इजी से। हाँ, जब मेरा बेटा पानी में गिर गया बोल के इतना कॉन्फिडेंस आप कह सकते रहे, तो 3 बार ढूंढे तो क्यों नहीं मिला मेरा बेटा? कैसे? अब भी क्या, अभी कैसे मिल गया मेरा बेटा? आप कैसे बोल रहे मेरा बेटा है बोल के? कंफर्म कहाँ किए आप? हाँ, मुझे ना कंफर्म करना है ना, मैं हूं ना उनका मम्मी। आप थोड़ी है मेरा बेटा है बोल के। मुझे नहीं पूछना है, मुझे पूछना था, मैं कंफर्म करना था, बाद में रिलीज करना था। हाँ, मैं कुछ भी नहीं बोला हूँ अभी तक। अब बॉडी मिल गया बोल के आप ही डिक्लेयर कर दिए, मनी बोल के आप ही डिक्लेयर कर दिए। मेरा बेटा है क्या आपका बेटा है? कौन दिया आपको हक? ये बिना परमिशन के कौन स्प्रेड कर रहा बोल रहे हैं आप लोग को? हाँ, अभी तक एम्बेसी वाले मुझे कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं दिए। मैं वीजा अप्लाई करे तो वीजा रिजेक्ट कर दिए। कौन से तारीख से वीजा रिजेक्ट कर दिए? वीजा रिजेक्ट करने के बाद अभी क्या, अभी हाँ, हम लोग प्रेशर कर रहे बोल के कौन से बिबाड़ी निकाल के मेरा बेटा बोल के बोल दिए 2 months के बाद 2 months एक बच्चे पानी में गिरे तो 70 days टाइम पड़ता बोलो। 3 बार ढूंढने के बाद और इंडियन एम्बेसी वाले एक मेल के भी रिस्पॉन्स नहीं दिए और हम लोग मेल करे तो उसके भी आंसर सही नहीं दिए। जस्ट ढूंढ रहे इतना दिन से ढूंढ रहे हैं। 16 को हियरिंग है बोल के बॉडी मिल गया। कंफर्मेशन हो गया उन लोगों को, बॉडी मिल गया। वो बॉडी कंफर्म नहीं है। इंडियन एम्बेसी वाले बोल दिए मेरा बेटा का बॉडी है बोल के। कौन कंफर्म किए मेरा बेटा बॉडी के बोल के? कौन न्यूज में स्प्रेड करो बोल रहे उनको? किसने हक दिया इन लोगों को मेरा बेटा बोल के? मैं बोलना ना, Day 1 से मैं बोल रहा हूँ मेरा बेटा को ट्रैप करे कोई जने, मेरा बेटा को ट्रैप करके उतना दूर लेकर गए बोल के मैं बोल रहा हूँ। मेरा बात कोई नहीं सुने। 2 महीने के बाद एक बॉडी को देख के डिसाइड कर दिए मणिदीप है बोल के, और बोल रहे यहाँ कुछ भी क्राइम नहीं हुआ। क्राइम हुए तो ही मेरा बेटा मिल नहीं रहा ना। क्राइम हुआ वेल कहीं मेरा बेटा 2 महीने से मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है। ये बात क्यों नहीं समझ में आ रहा है उन लोगों को? मेरा बेटा है, कोई भी ट्रैप करे बोल के पहले दिन से मैं बोल रहा हूँ, कोई मेरी बात क्यों नहीं सुन रहे? 2 महीने के बाद मैं सबको अलर्ट करके सबसे प्रेशर करे तो एमबीआई को मूव करके कौन सा भी बॉडी सी में मिल गया, देखो आपका बेटा मिल गया बोल के बोलते। कौन बोले मेरा बेटा है बोल के? कौन कंफर्म किए मेरा बेटा है बोल के? मैंने बोला हूँ क्या बोला? डीएनए टेस्ट नहीं किए, कैसे रिलीज कर दिए प्रेस को? मेरा बेटा बोल के कैसे रिलीज कर दिए? बोलो कौन, क्या प्रूफ है मेरा बेटा है बोल के? 2 बार चेक करने के बाद बॉडी में कोई सी में कोई बॉडी नहीं मिला था। 3rd बार चेक कर गए तो मिल गया बॉडी। कैसे? फिंगरप्रिंट मैच हुआ बोल के बोल रहे हैं। पानी में 70 days रहे तो फिंगरप्रिंट कैसे मैच हुआ? कौन से हिसाब से मैच हुआ? जम नहीं जाता बॉडी? होता नहीं होता? दिमाग नहीं है पुलिस वाले को, इंडियन एम्बेसी वाले को? जो हम पूछ रहे हैं फॉरेंसिक आइटम्स, पर्सनल आइटम्स मैं पूछ रहा हूँ क्या क्या मिला है प्रूफ के लिए? ड्रेस कहाँ है, उसका ग्लव्स कहाँ है, उनका पर्स कहाँ है, उनका कड़ा कहाँ है, इतना मैं पूछा हूँ। कहाँ है वो सब? वो सब मिला नहीं। एक पर्स में कार्स जॉब में लगा के कूद लिया मेरा बेटा। बॉडी का इमेजेस कहाँ है? बॉडी का फोटो भेजे मुझे। कुछ भी भेजे मेरे बेटे के बारे में। ऐसे कैसे कंफर्म कर दिए आप लोग? कैसे? मैं करना हो ना मेरा बेटा को डीएनए टेस्ट किए आप? मैं उनका फादर वहाँ है डीएनए टेस्ट करने के लिए। डीएनए टेस्ट नहीं किए, प्रेस को कैसे रिलीज कर दिए? मेरा बेटा उतना डरपोक समझ रहे, कुछ भी क्राइम नहीं है, उनके गए पानी में कूद लिए, सुसाइड कर ले बोल के समझ रहे आप लोग। मेरा बेटा डरपोक नहीं है। डरपोक है तो उतना दूर जाता नहीं, मैं बेचता नहीं। ये सब फेक है। पुलिस सब हाइड कर रहे हैं मेरा बेटे के बारे में। मेरा बेटा वो नहीं है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ मेरा बेटा नहीं है। कुछ तो छुपा रहा है बेटे के बारे में। मेरा बेटे को कोई ने ट्रैप किया है, उनको किडनैप किया हुआ है। Day 1 से मैं बोल रहा हूँ, 2 महीने से बोल रहा हूँ, मैं यही बात बार 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 बोल रहा हूँ। मेरा बेटा को किडनैप किए, ढूंढो 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 बोले तो 45 डेज होने के बाद पुलिस वाला बोले मुझे कुछ भी नहीं मिले बोल के। क्यों कुछ भी नहीं मिलता बोलो आप लोग? हाँ, कुछ भी क्यों नहीं मिलता? पूरा प्लान से गया हुआ क्या मेरा बेटा? हाँ, सीसी कैमरा में क्या नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है बोले तो नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं है बोल रहे। गायब कैसे होता है मेरा बेटा? हाँ, 70 डेज तक कहाँ भी नहीं दिखता मेरा बेटा। ये सब चाल है, पूरे के पूरा चाल है। उनका देश, उनका कंट्री अच्छा रहना बोल के मेरा बेटे के बारे में सब कुछ छुपा दे रहे। वो मेरा बेटा नहीं है, मुझे मालूम है वो मेरा बेटा नहीं है। मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं इसके बारे में। इंडियन एम्बेसी से मैं फाइट करूंगा, गवर्नमेंट से, फिनलैंड गवर्नमेंट से मैं सबसे पूछूंगा। मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं इसके बारे में। बिना प्रूफ के लिए मेरे बारे में कैसे ऐसा कैसे बोल दिए आप लोग? मेरा बेटा जिंदा है अभी तक, वो मेरा बेटा नहीं है। मेरा बात मानने को क्यों तैयार नहीं है आप लोग? डे 1 से मैं बोल रहा हूँ मेरा बेटा को ट्रैप किए हुए, उतना दूर वो नहीं जाता है, कोई भी बुला के लेकर गए बोल के मैं बोल रहा हूँ। फिनलैंड सिस्टम इसे अच्छा नहीं है। पर्सनल पर्सनल बोल के कुछ भी निकाल रहे नहीं, कुछ भी दिखा रहे नहीं। मेरे बेटे के बारे में मुझे कुछ भी नहीं बोल रहे इन लोग। सब हाइड कर दे रहे, सब छुपा दे रहे। फिनलैंड पुलिस वाले सब छुपा दे रहे। मेरा गवर्नमेंट पूछ रहे नहीं, कुछ भी पूछ रहे नहीं मेरा गवर्नमेंट। डे 1 से बोल रहा हूँ मेरा बेटा को ट्रैप किया हुआ है। मेरा बेटा नहीं है, वो बॉडी मेरा बेटा का नहीं है। ये कंफर्म कैसे कर लिए? ये कंफर्म नहीं है, मेरा बेटा नहीं है। डीएनए टेस्ट नहीं किया, कैसे रिलीज कर दिया प्रेस को? कौन दिया इनको परमिशन? किसने दिया? मैंने दिया क्या आप लोग को? मेरा वीजा क्यों रिजेक्ट कर दिया आप लोग? इंडिया फिनलैंड आके मैं सब पूछता हूँ बोल के ही आप लोग रिजेक्ट कर दिए ना आप लोग मेरा वीजा को। इसीलिए मैं कुछ भी नहीं पूछूं, कुछ भी नहीं सीखूं बोल के किए आप लोग, मुझे मालूम है। जानबूझ के किए, जानबूझे को मैं केस क्लोज करना है बोल के आप मेरे दूसरे बॉडी को मेरा बेटा बॉडी बोल के बोल रहे आप लोग। नहीं, वो मेरा बेटा नहीं है। मेरा बेटा जिंदा है। विदाउट डीएनए टेस्ट के बाद, टेस्ट नहीं किए कैसे रिलीज कर दिए प्रेस को? इंडियन स्टूडेंट को रेस्पेक्ट नहीं है आपके कंट्री में? इंटरनेशनल स्टूडेंट बोले तो रेस्पेक्ट नहीं है आप लोगों को? इंडियन एम्बेसी वालों को भी नहीं है। इंडियन कंट्री स्टूडेंट है बोल के इंडियन एम्बेसी वालों को नहीं है। इंडियन फिनलैंड वाले को भी नहीं है। मेरे बेटे को क्यों ऐसे कर दे रहे? क्यों मुझे वीजा नहीं दिए? ये सब मैनिपुलेट करने के लिए आप वीजा नहीं दिए ना? इसीलिए मेरा वीजा रिजेक्ट किए। मैं इतना दर्द में हूँ, आपके कंट्री में आके मैं एंजॉय करती हूँ। ऐसे थोड़ी होता है कहाँ भी। इसीलिए मेरा वीजा रिजेक्ट करे। ऐसे कैसे होता है मेरा बोल? अगर आपके कंट्री में सेफ सिक्योरिटी नहीं है तो इंडियन वाले को वीजा मत दीजिए। किसी को बेटे को इतना दर्द मत दीजिए। आप मत दीजिए वीजा को, अप्रूव मत कीजिए। मैं भी नहीं, मेरा बेटा को वीजा नहीं दिए तो क्यों दिए आप लोग? इतना सेफेस्ट कंट्री बोल के क्यों ऐसा करे आप लोग? आपके बस सब बात झूठ है, सबके सब बात झूठ है। आप सब मैनिपुलेट कर रहे, मेरा केस क्लोज करने के लिए ये सब कर दे रहे आप लोग। वो बॉडी मेरा बेटा का नहीं है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ। मेरा बाड़ी, वो बाड़ी मेरा बेटा का नहीं है। अभी तो मेरा बात मान लो, वो जिंदा है। उन्होंने किसी ने मेरा बेटा को ट्रैप करके किडनैप किया हुआ है। मेरा बात मान लो। इंडियन एम्बेसी लोग अब क्या कर रहे हैं वहाँ? आप लोग इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ही है ना? आप लोग वहाँ क्या कर रहे, क्या देख रहे? इतना स्टूडेंट गए हुए, इतना स्टूडेंट को, इतना पेरेंट्स को इतना दर्द दे रहे हैं आप लोग। किस लिए है आप लोग? हम लोग के लिए है ना आप लोग। आप नहीं करते काम, वीजा अप्रूव मत कीजिए। मेरा बेटा को नहीं भेजता था, किसी कीजिए आप लोग। आप सिक्योरिटी नहीं देते। ये सब मैनिपुलेट कर रहे हैं। मेरा बेटा जिंदा है, वो बॉडी मेरा बेटा का नहीं है। विदाउट कंफर्मेशन के लिए डीएनए टेस्ट ही नहीं हुआ, कैसे कंफर्म करके आप फोटो रिलीज कर दिए बॉडी मेरा बेटा है बोल के? कैसे मीडिया को रिलीज कर दिए? कौन बताए मेरा बेटा है बोल के? मैंने बोला हूँ क्या आपको? ये ना इंसाफ है, तो बराबर ये ना इंसाफ है। मुझे न्याय चाहिए मेरा गवर्नमेंट से, फिनलैंड गवर्नमेंट से, और मेरा इंडियन एम्बेसी से, सबसे मुझे एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है, मेरा बेटा जिंदा है, उनको ढूंढिए। ये ट्रैप करके किडनैप किया हुआ मेरा बेटा वैसा नहीं है। मैं कंफर्म नहीं किया हूँ अभी मेरा बेटा है बोल के। मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं, किसी को छोड़ूंगा नहीं। ये कौन कौन कैसे किया, मैं किसी को छोड़ूंगा नहीं। मैं लड़ूंगा। मैं जब तक जिंदा हूँ, मैं जब तक लड़ती रहती हूँ, इसको मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं। मेरा बेटा जिंदा है।
Mrs. Reddy, we understand your pain. आपका दर्द मैं समझ सकती हूँ, और we are sure that this case will be taken up further. We were just hearing Manideep Reddy's mother saying that the family is not being allowed to go to Finland. Their visa is being rejected, and they think there's more to this death. There's more to the story. There's something very suspicious. Republic TV is with you, Mrs. Mamta Reddy, and we are sure that Manideep will get justice. Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV.
मेरा बेटा को वापस लेकर आइए। मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट कर रही हूँ, मेरा बेटा को वापस लेकर आइए मैडम। वो मेरा बेटा नहीं है मैडम, ये मैनिपुलेट कर रहे हैं। मेरा बेटा जिंदा है।
Thank you, Mrs. Reddy. I will give you your private time.
Truly a very heartbreaking plea from the mother. But now we will shift focus to Manipur. The controversy over the unauthorized bridge in Manipur has taken a fresh turn. Days after Republic highlighted questions over the bridge's construction without government approval, a cookie organization has written a letter criticizing the coverage. However, the bigger question remains, how was such a massive structure built without the state government's knowledge? Let's take a look at this report for more.
Last week, Republic broadcast following the report of the controversial bridge that was constructed without government approval. The cookie group Cookie INPI has now written an open letter criticizing Republic for calling the bridge a conduit bridge. They have now said bridge will not be misused, adding that it was built with the money from contributions to end the sufferings and drowning in the area.
The controversy surrounding the unauthorized bridge across Manipur River has taken a new turn. Just a day after the state security forces had been deputed to verify the construction, the bridge was inaugurated today before any action could be taken by the authorities. The bridge, which connects Singhu village in Churachandpur district with Walku village in Chandel district, had already drawn widespread attention after authorities concerned reportedly denied having any knowledge of the project or granting permission for its construction. This development has further intensified security concerns. The bridge is located in a sensitive area where, according to local sources, smugglers had allegedly been transporting narcotics and arms by crossing the Manipur River to avoid security checkpoints on the main roads. With the bridge now operational, concerns are growing that movement across the river could become even easier if adequate surveillance is not put in place.
However, the fact remains that this bridge is not authorized by the government and not cleared. The Chief Minister of Manipur told reporters he wasn't even aware and that he would now gather facts.
Charaduga Chandel the Handak Tong Masanga giving around Paum like it Langak Kangho de Harusikamina to Puzano. The official in a Pagi Togibalate Decote and other Minama.
Now, how did the state government not know? Especially when they say villages paid for it, the entire episode shows negligence by the state.
Mipia kona loan hanlang free akimuyong le lak som gate le lak ko le sang som li public akona hen 2,65,75,352 crore ni le lak som gup langa sang som sagi langa le jatum la som ngala cheng ni hi nam se pion ke to do hi tu nai report chom cha kan pe hinten.
How is it possible that such a bridge was constructed across a river with thousands attending the inauguration and the government just doesn't know? The bridge is now being celebrated by cookie groups.
Government of Manipur in a door here lang hile kahung lo de hin singat pale chandil enle ho ngan si thi hi ai wa nga ho government la akale sei se jong ha ne pen ai wa nga tung ne mu thi na sa pen bol do government of Khulmi Gamo na to ai je asu ave mo nga ki papi mo hung ke di su kan si.
The bridge is constructed a short distance from high security locations. Regardless of this controversy, how the bridge came into being is now becoming the focus.
The concern becomes even more serious because the bridge is located close to high security areas. How did the state government didn't know about this massive project? So today, this issue is no longer just about a bridge. It is about accountability. Who allowed this construction? Who ensured there was no government oversight? And how did such a major infrastructure project come up without the knowledge of the very government responsible for regulating it? On March 21, 2024, the Dane state government, through the Deputy Commissioner of Chandel, had issued a written order directing that the purpose bridge construction be stopped immediately. Yet after 2 years later, a new bridge has not only been completed but also inaugurated.
And viewers, with that, we come to the end of this bulletin, but we'll continue to track more stories and updates on the other side. Coming up after a very short break, US has launched the third round of strikes against Iran in retaliation to an Iranian attack on a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Coming up next, stay tuned.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई होटल मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है, और इसमें उसको भी इंदौर रेफर किया गया है। महिला को वहाँ उनके इलाज के लिए रेफर किया गया है, तो पूरा ख्याल रखा जा रहा है। बाकी हम लोग पूरी टीम यहाँ पे जो है हमारी लगी है, एफएसएल की टीम भी आई है, हमारे जो फिंगरप्रिंट की टीम भी है, हमारे साइबर प्लस जो हमारी आसपास के थाने की टीम यहाँ पे आ गई है। इनको मैंने पूरा जल्दी से जल्दी 24 घंटे 28 घंटे के अंदर में
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है, स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है, अरे मेरे राजा।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबां केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े, चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. As debater, or I'm a crazy debater. Facts everyone has, but I have brought back opinion into journalism because they didn't have the guts. I had the guts, I had the freedom, I had the intellect. I gave it my best shot. I still do it. There's no sense of how much money you want to make. No, it was always how much can you do. I used to be really proud seeing my father in uniform. I realized my father was doing something greater than his own job. If you were to again go back and look at from where you started as a journalist.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. watching Republic.
Welcome friends. Republic School of Journalism, India's most sought after live learning program, has now opened applications for its 2026 batch. RSJ was launched with a single mission to train the next generation of journalists, not in classrooms, but on the field, live as news breaks, covering elections, wars, and the biggest stories of our times, under the direct mentorship of India's best journalists at the Republic Media Network. And the results speak for themselves. 100% of students from RSJ's inaugural batch are now placed, working in newsrooms. The new batch begins this August. Aspiring journalists can apply online now at www.republicschoolofjournalism.com or call 836-999-5400. That's 836-999-5400 to know more. Let's begin with the headlines. Second post-mortem report in Twisha Sharma case. Report links gym belt to injuries. Bengaluru delivery agent arrested for sexually harassing a woman inside her flat. A tribal woman gang raped by 6 men after robbery in Madhya Pradesh's Ali Rajpur. Search underway to nab the culprits. 40 hostel students fall ill after meal in Maharashtra's Nandurbar. 25 hospitalized. Trump's closest aide in war against Iran, US Senator Lindsey Graham, dies suddenly. Mega support pace calls for detailed probe. Iran's IRGC Navy has closed the Strait of Hormuz again until further notice over US interference. The United States retaliates, launches third round of strikes against Iran in response to an Iranian attack on a container ship in this strait. All right, let's begin this bulletin with some exclusive information coming in from Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The protests in that territory are all set to intensify further. On for more than a month over Islamabad's high-handedness, the residents have decided to snap all talks till the Pak regime changes its attitude. We have a fresh video of protest leader Javed Iqbal exposing Islamabad's atrocities and doublespeak at Rawalkot. He says that when the citizens demand basic needs, they are being showered with bullets. He further emphasizes that the people of POK are done with Pakistan. Listen to him, Javed Iqbal.
साल जैसा कि ये चूरन बेचा गया कि हम श्रीनगर को आजाद करवाएंगे पुत्र है चूरन पुराना हो गया रावला कोट तू जरा पिंडी टाइम ना डब्बा जाना ना उसने चूरन बेचो हूं चूरन तो सारा कश्मीरी को ऐसा कोई चूरन ना ले लगे असा की तुस आए असा कश्मीर आजाद कर असा 78 साल श्रीनगर दी ट्रक्कां दी पत्ती मगर लाई रखया 78 साल आज पहली बारी जिले असा है कि कुछ अरसे श्रीनगर की छोड़ दो आजाद कश्मीर की तरफ भी तवज्जो दो जिसकी तुसा आजाद आने हो असा दे कोण आने सा ये आजादी है लोगो आटा मंगया ता कोली बिजली मंगी ता कोली पानी मंगया ता कोली हुक्मरानी मंगी ता कोली लेकिन उन कोली खाली खान न लगे सिरदर्दी गोली नहीं है जी बार बार असं खा गोली नहीं अख भी कोनी होनी उसरी तगड़ा अगे फायका बैठे या कमरा बैठे
All All right, journalist Irfan joins us live from Islamabad for more on this. Irfan, you heard the POK leader address the gathering and the protesters and make it clear. He made it clear that they are not going to talk to Pakistan because the Islamabad regime showers them with bullets every time they go to them with genuine demands. How is Islamabad looking at the July 15 protests?
Thank you very much, Abhishek. This guy, Javed Iqbal, he is not a renowned person and he is not the leaders of the protesters. A couple of days back, one of their leaders, he has made it clear that, any statement apart from him, the guy I'm talking about, Umar Nazir Kashmiri, he said that, anyone who gives a statement from the stage will not be considered their opinion. So that means that these guys, they are misusing their stage, and he has made it clear that
Irfan,
their stage has been
I have to interject you there, but you heard those that soundbite, we heard and our viewers heard. It's very clear that what Javed Iqbal is saying has the resonance with the crowd there. Did you see the way the crowd responded to what he said?
No doubt about it. There are a few separatists, they are very few, like you can count it on, fingertips. They are like, on hundreds. They are not even on thousands. So Pakistan, Azad Jammu and Kashmir, they have a huge population. They do not represent a single segment of the society. So, I mean, this sit-in, is being staged at 4 places. So Umar Nazir Kashmiri cannot oversee every place, every time. So sometimes, one of the guy who comes on the stage and he says whatever comes in his mind, so he does not reflect the Awami Action Committee's agenda and their face. So they are trying to contact government of Azad Kashmir and government of Pakistan, and I believe that there would be a solution before 15th of this month, because they have announced.
But they are not talking to you. They are not talking to you. You think there would be a solution because there are no talks. Your defense minister said you cannot trust Mirpuris. Now it's not just about Mirpur and Rawalkot. The long march is happening for Muzaffarabad.
But we have to see in a different context that, general elections are going to take place in 27 July and PMLN is taking part, and it's a major party, and defense minister, he's, major political leader. So, we should not take his statements very seriously because, his party allies, they say different things. But, when something comes from the mouth of Prime Minister, who is the head of the party, so people should take it serious. Otherwise, we have seen that second or third tier leadership, they say politically whatever suits them. So, so far, I believe that
Irfan,
there are 2 channels.
Irfan, you are saying there are 2
One
channels. Obviously, there is a sanctioned Sarkari channel which the Islamabad regime approves of, and maybe they are soft on the government there, but there is another channel which is of Javed Iqbal and others, and I can see that the crowd really supports them. Just hold on to your thoughts. I'm coming back to you for one more question, Irfan. But before that, massive anti-Islamabad protests continuing. Women in Mujahidabad are standing firm against the repression, and they call what they see as illegal occupation by Pakistan. So more visuals, I believe we have more pictures. These are the pictures. Let's listen to them. right, before I go to Irfan, let me go to Gursimran. He's reporting live from Jammu. Gursimran, this seems like people out there are so full of anger and frustration against Islamabad that it's been more than a month and these protests are not stopping. In fact, they are escalating even further.
Yes, Abhishek, that's correct that the people are on the roads and they are demanding their rights to be given back to them. Now, the statement of Javed Iqbal was being questioned whether he is authorized or not. But the reality is that what he is speaking, it is the reality. Because if you start from 2024, when these Awami Action Committee protests started, he said that when we asked for the wheat, we were pellet with these guns, bullets. When we asked for water, when we asked for the fuel, everything, we were reverted with the pellets by the Pakistani side. And he said that now it is enough. Now we are not going to bear these bullets and we are going to strike back. So this is not something only Javed Iqbal is saying, because this is the sentiment of the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because this movement of the people of POJK, they started with their genuine demands. These genuine demands were that they be provided with the foods and the essentials on the subsidized rate, which was a commitment to them by the federal government. Federal government has always been the one who has been backstabbing the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So this is not something that they were not authorized to speak or something they have been speaking out of the way. That is the reality. Every Kashmiri in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir has suffered, and he went on to say that we have told the federal government, stop going to the Srinagar, then come back to the Kashmir. That is the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The very tall claims that you make regarding the Srinagar, that is something far off. But first and the foremost priority of the government should be what is happening in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and that is what the people of POJK wanted. This time Pakistani federal government is more rattled for the reason that this time the people have moved beyond the free and subsidized ration and electricity to their democratic rights. They do not want 12 people to be elected from the rest of the Pakistan and then be the people who make decision for them. And when any government in POJK has to be dislodged, it is the federal government using these 12 elected persons to actually dislodge the government.
Right, Gursimran, in fact, you are absolutely right that the intensity of the protest is such that Islamabad is rattled, and why not? Because it's not just limited to Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The protests are spreading far and wide around the world, and in Washington, D.C., a large number of people from the Pakistani and Kashmiri communities have gathered to protest and support those children, those women, those protesters in Muzaffarabad, Mirpur, among other places, and Rawalkot. In fact, they have come out in Washington, D.C. and they are supporting these protests. Take a look.
हम का आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी बहुत सारी मसरूफियात में से अपने बहुत सारे काम काज छोड़ के वीकेंड पे स्कूल बच्चों के प्रोग्राम छोड़ के आप इस मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशहूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटियों का, हम का आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी बहुत सारी मसरूफियात में से अपने बहुत सारे काम काज छोड़ के वीकेंड पे स्कूल बच्चों के प्रोग्राम छोड़ के आप इस मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशहूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटियों का, हम का आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशहूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटियों का, हम का आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी बहुत सारी मसरूफियात में से अपने बहुत सारे काम काज छोड़ के वीकेंड पे स्कूल बच्चों के प्रोग्राम छोड़ के आप इस मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशहूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटियों का.
All right, Irfan, coming back to you, there should be no doubt in your mind and in the minds of your government that these protests are organic and they are happening not just in POK. Even this Pakistani Kashmiri community or Kashmiris and Pakistanis coming together in Washington, D.C., coming out in support of Awami Action, coming out in support of these protesters in Rawalkot and Mirpur and Muzaffarabad. So, I mean, you cannot say that these are orchestrated protests. These are organic protests happening in POJK and around the world.
Abhishek, the population of Azad Jammu and Kashmir is more than 5 million, and there are not more than 24 protesters in United States. So in the past, we have seen like in thousands of people, they have gathered outside Washington, D.C. and in London and in various other capitals of the country against India, but it did not make any effect on Indian policies. So basically it's a right movement, and there is a huge diaspora in the Europe, Canada, Australia, everywhere, and they are not 100% they're supporting Awami Action Committee's demands, because they have crossed red line and they wanted to abolish 12 seats, which is not possible. It's a constitutional matter, and this matter has to be brought in the assembly, and 2/3 majority has to change it. Otherwise, it cannot be done in the streets. So otherwise, their demands are being fulfilled by the federal government. Hospital would be upgraded. The more funds would be allocated for the education, and rest of the demand. There are 38 demands, and which would be fulfilled, with the passage of time. But now Action Committee, they have realized that it's a time to negotiate with the federal government in Azad Kashmir and Pakistan, and government of Pakistan wanted to solve this issue by the talks.
Irfan, you are fully informed. I don't think, Irfan, you are fully informed, because far from negotiating or talking with the government, the Joint Awami Action Committee is in fact escalating, and in fact they do not want to have any talks, because they have realized that it's all about getting waylaid by Islamabad. So the Joint Awami Action Committee has in fact appealed to the students and girls and protesters, students, youth, that if they are the future, they have to join their struggle and come in, field, struggle alongside your nation in full force. That's the statement from JAAC, and they are saying that tomorrow, that's July 13th, Monday, the JAAC has exhorted the youth to participate in protest sit-ins, wearing their uniforms and carrying school bags, and express the disapproval against the oppressive, tyrannical rulers and forces of Islamabad. So essentially what we are seeing is that JAAC is exhorting the students to join in the protest. So, all right, one more breaking news. We are staying with this. Another important development, which is Pakistan's paramilitary deployment in POK, is now expected to exceed almost nearing 20,000, including 8,000 Rangers, which are already deployed. And this is an escalation of deployment, keeping in mind the July 15 long march planned by the protesters who want to march towards Muzaffarabad. The Pak-occupied government's authorities have requested, in fact, Pakistan's Interior Ministry to deploy an additional 4,000 Frontier Corps personnel and 7 wings of the Pakistan Rangers. That's approximately 5,000 plus 5,500 personnel extra, supplementing the 8,000 Rangers already deployed. And the request follows a month marked by 61 reported fatalities in firing-related incidents across the region. 61 protesters have been killed by Pakistani forces in the last 1 month alone. Gursimran, coming back to you. That seems like Pakistan getting paid back in its own coin. Pakistan accuses India of massive deployments in Kashmir, but that's because they are spreading terrorism. And now, because people are out on the streets protesting, Pakistan making these kind of heavy deployments of paramilitary forces.
Abhishek, there is no doubt that there is a military deployment on the both sides, but for the different reasons. Here in Jammu and Kashmir, that Indian Jammu and Kashmir, the paramilitary and the security forces deployment is to save the people of Jammu and Kashmir, while on the Pakistani side, it is aimed to kill the people of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir for the reason that they are raising voice against the Pakistani establishment. So two different reasons, and the Pakistani military deployment, whenever they are sent to POJK, they are sent as an oppressor. That is not what we are alleging, but what the people of POJK POJK have been saying. Starting from 8 years to 8 years, you ask everyone, the videos that are surfacing from Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, this speaks volumes about the Pakistani motive to push additional forces. Whenever additional forces are pushed to Jammu and Kashmir on the Indian side, it is purely for the purpose to ensure that everyone, civilian, is secure. But whenever Pakistan moves the forces, it is to commit the atrocities on the common people, and that is the same case with the deployment of roughly 10,000 additional forces that have been called on 8th of July before in view of 9th July and will now remain there till 18th. That is the timeline that has been given, and there is all likelihood that Pakistan will actually ask for more of the security forces for POJK because they want to suppress this uprising that is taking place. But the people have also made it amply clear that we have taken enough bullets, but no more we are going to take this, and this is going to be a decisive phase, Abhishek.
Yes, absolutely. And it is clear that irrespective of what Islamabad's position is, the fact of the matter is, on the ground, there is massive discontent. And in fact, we have heard some voices who believe that the Kashmir that's with India is much better than Kashmir that's illegally occupied by Pakistan. Thank you so much, Irfan, joining us from Islamabad, and Gursimran joining us for Jammu. We are coming out of the story for now, but the focus remains on it as we build up to that July 15 long march to Muzaffarabad. Coming out for now and moving to the next one. In a major development in the Tuisha Sharma death case, AIIMS Delhi has submitted an 11-page forensic report, or the second post-mortem report, to the CBI, linking injuries on her body to a gym belt, suggesting a possible match that could prove pivotal in determining whether her May 2026 death in Bhopal was suicide or involved foul play. The sealed cover report is expected to help establish the sequence of events amid earlier concerns over evidence handling, including the ligature material not being presented during the initial autopsy. The CBI continues to examine this alongside other medical findings, witness accounts, and scene reconstructions, twice that they have done in the high-profile investigation.
Major development in the Tuisha Sharma death case, AIIMS Delhi Medical Board has now submitted its final forensic report to the CBI in a sealed cover, addressing a crucial question: what was the actual ligature used in her death? According to sources, forensic and histopathological analysis has confirmed that skin tissue found on the alleged gymnastic belt matches the injury pattern on Tuisha Sharma's neck. This significantly strengthens the claim that the belt may have been used in the hanging. Remember, the first post-mortem could not establish this link because the ligature material was not present at that time. Following this, the Madhya Pradesh High Court ordered second post-mortem, which was conducted by 5-member AIIMS Delhi board on May 24. The team also inspected the crime scene, and the detailed 11-page report has now been submitted to the CBI on July 10 as per the court directions. While the findings remain confidential, this report is expected to play a crucial role in the ongoing investigation.
Actually, this is a good finding because it is not revealing the further it is a strangulation or a suicide.
Right.
It is a report which is suggesting that belt has been used. This is the confirmation that this belt has been used for the crime.
Yes, sir. In fact, there were a lot of mystery surrounding this very belt because it was not submitted in the first investigation, first post-mortem. Even during the second post-mortem, there were doubts whether or not this was submitted. And it was only after the pressure was put in by the High Court that the belt was finally submitted to the AIIMS Delhi team. And now it looks like a good breakthrough, at least in the ongoing investigation, sir.
Yeah, it's a breakthrough, and we are all waiting because we have already filed for. We are looking for this report, detailed report, so that we could get as early as possible, so that we can analyze and we can finalize our way ahead. Because there are a lot of things which we initially found out. If they are not matching, we will look forward for our own forensic examination. So we should be satisfied at our end before. First of all, we should get that detailed report, what is there inside, and then we will take future course of action.
All right, sir. So, the 11-page report has now been submitted to CBI. But, sir, last question to you. In fact, before I let you go, overall, sir, with the way the case has been proceeding, how do you look at the investigation so far? And as you mentioned, you will be approaching the court for the detailed report, we understand?
Yes, definitely. So far, the investigation are going smooth, and they are going as per their, norms, and we are okay with that. No issue on that. Yeah.
All right, sir. Republic continues to stand with you, with the family. In fact, as the investigation in this case proceeds for now, thanks so much, sir, for joining us and sharing your reaction on these latest developments. Thanks so much, sir.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और मसाला। प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा सिप। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा सिप।
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
की घटना है, यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। उसके बच्चे बाहर थे। पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है, और इसमें
merchants and pilgrims. And yet, for generations, this region's potential was throttled by a simple, stubborn problem. Getting from one place to another took forever. The road from Meerut to Prayagraj was a journey of 11 hours. 11 hours of narrow roads, bottlenecks and uncertainty. Uttar Pradesh is India's most populous state with over 24 crore people. Its GDP, its farm output, its manufacturing potential, all of it was being quietly drained by the cost of poor connectivity. And then this, 594 kilometers of road that has changed the equation permanently. India's largest greenfield expressway, built in To understand the Ganga Expressway, you start with the map. From Meerut in the northwest of Uttar Pradesh to Prayagraj in the southeast. The expressway runs 594 kilometers through 12 districts. It passes through 519 villages. It brings roughly 8 crore people within reach. In raw numbers, it is India's largest build, operate, transfer project ever executed. The expressway was developed by two partners. Adani Road Transport Limited, a subsidiary of Adani Enterprises Limited, built approximately 464 kilometers, roughly 80% of the total length. IRB Infrastructure Limited developed the remaining 130 kilometers. Together, they delivered India's most ambitious road project in a record 3 years and 3 months.
Ganga Expressway is a 594-kilometer project, and it is the initiative which has been taken by the UP government to shorten the distance between the eastern UP and western UP and to cut the travel time from eastern UP to western UP. The Ganga Expressway has shortened the time, that is travel time, from 12 hours to 6 hours.
The Ganga Expressway was built at a height of 6 meters, 1 meter above the highest recorded flood level of the Ganga. This was not an aesthetic choice, it was engineering that acknowledged geography. The road surface uses polymer modified bitumen PMB in its bituminous course. PMB is a high-performance material that extends the road's functional life significantly beyond standard bitumen, while delivering a smoother, more comfortable ride.
If you see the safety point of view, we have done many improvements in the safety, like the fatigue, for the fatigue of the drivers. What we have done is, by the side of both the carriageway, we have done the audible road marking where you can feel a humming sound if the vehicle crosses the line.
Dark fiber optical cable runs the entire 594-kilometer length of the project, a digital backbone that enables faster and more secure data transmission along one of India's most important travel corridors.
एडिशनली हमने यहाँ पर ऑप्टिकल फाइबर का भी यूज़ किया है इन फ्यूचर जो AI ड्रिवन डेटा होगा फॉर दैट पर्पस.
Across the 464 kilometers built by Adani Enterprises, a crossing structure was built every 860 meters, 437 underpasses and 21 flyovers, ensuring that the expressway does not cut communities in two. And with a 120-meter right-of-way width, the road is already designed for the traffic it will carry not just today, but in the decades to come. Along the expressway, world-class amenity stops have been built. Food courts, fuel stations, motels, cafeterias, shopping plazas and vehicle service centers.
Every 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers, we have petrol pumps and wayside amenities. There is an underpass which is connected for both the carriage. We have the trauma care center also in this. You have the EV station, gas stations also. Then we have motel, we have dhaba either. So every 60 kilometers travels, people can take rest and have a pleasant view of the highway and then move further.
These are not afterthoughts, they are part of the design. 14 dormitory complexes. 7 dormitory complexes have been built on the Adani stretch specifically for long-haul truck drivers. For a community that moves India's economy but has historically been left to fend for itself on the roadside, this is a practical acknowledgement of their role.
ईवी चार्जिंग स्टेशन पर छोटी गाड़ियों के लिए अलग है, बड़ी गाड़ियों के लिए अलग है, ताकि दोनों अलग अलग क्षेत्र में अपने अपने काम कर सकें। ये ईवी चार्जिंग स्टेशन जो है फास्ट चार्जिंग करते हैं, तो उस हिसाब से एक 30-35 मिनट में जो उनका एक स्टॉपेज टाइम होता है, उसमें आप फूड कैफ़े का भी आनंद ले सकते हैं और हमारे यहाँ जो आप ईवी चार्ज भी कर सकते हैं, गाड़ी भी चार्ज हो सकती है।
EV charging stations have been installed at 7 places along the route, positioning the expressway for the electric mobility transition that India is accelerating toward. The median across the 464-kilometer Adani-built stretch has been planted with saplings, and the Forest Department has added 4.5 lakh trees in avenue plantation along the corridor. 24/7 CCTV surveillance covers the full length of the road. Trauma centers are positioned at regular intervals.
If any mishaps happen on the highway, the vehicle for the rescue reaches to the help within seconds of time, so that the golden hours are kept into mind, and all the vehicles are kept in between such a distance where people can attend immediately. Any accident happen on the road, people will be attending very immediately.
The journey from Meerut to Prayagraj once took 11 hours. On the Ganga Expressway, it takes 6. 5 hours return to every journey, to every farmer rushing produce to a mandi, every professional commuting between cities, every family travelling for work or worship. Fuel consumption on the same journey falls by nearly 30%. These are not marginal improvements multiplied across millions of journeys. They are a structural shift in the region's productivity. The government of Uttar Pradesh has identified 11 industrial corridors across all 12 districts the expressway passes through. These corridors, designed to attract manufacturing, logistics, food processing and light industries, are viable because the road now exists. The Ganga Expressway is projected to generate approximately 3 lakh direct and indirect employment opportunities. The Ganga Expressway does not exist in isolation. It is one pillar of a larger infrastructure architecture that is reshaping how India moves.
हर एक किलोमीटर पे एक कैमरा PTZ कैमरा लगा हुआ है हमारे पूरे अक्रॉस द लेंथ। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि सारे जो मॉनिटरिंग होती है वो मॉनिटरिंग हमारे कंट्रोल सेंटर से होती है, और कंट्रोल सेंटर में ये कुछ भी अनयूजुअल घटनाएं अगर साइड पे दिखती है तो ये अनयूजुअल एक्टिविटी डिटेक्ट करके हमारा कंट्रोल रूम रूट पे जो घूम रही हमारे रूट पेट्रोलिंग व्हीकल वैन्स हैं वो उनको इन्फॉर्म करते हैं, और ये सारे RPV जो है रूट पेट्रोलिंग वैन वो GPS एनेबल्ड है और उनको इन्फॉर्म करते हैं, और वो इमीडिएटली जाके उसको टेकअप करते हैं और जो भी मिटिगेशन उनको देना होता है, जो भी उनको हेल्प करना होता है वो करते हैं।
Adani Road Transport Limited is part of a roads portfolio spanning 17 projects and over 5,300 lane kilometers across multiple Indian states. The Ganga Expressway is its most ambitious expression yet. For transporters, a highway is not measured only in kilometers. It is measured in time, fuel, reliability, and ultimately profitability. To understand the real impact of the Ganga Expressway, a comparative route study was conducted between the traditional NH19 corridor and the Ganga Expressway. The Ganga Expressway reduces travel distance from 710 kilometers to just 594 kilometers, shortening the journey by 116 kilometers. Average travel speeds increase from 30 to 40 kilometers per hour to nearly 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. cutting the transit time from nearly 20 hours to just 12. But the biggest advantage lies in fuel efficiency. A truck traveling the same route consumes approximately 237 liters of fuel on NH19. On the Ganga Expressway, consumption falls to nearly 186 liters. That's a saving of 51 liters every trip, a reduction of more than 21%. At current diesel prices, that translates into fuel savings of nearly 4,700 rupees per journey.
भैया हम प्रयागराज से हरिद्वार 2-3 बार जा चुका हूँ। यहाँ की बहुत बढ़िया व्यवस्था है और डीजल पेट्रोल पंप पे डीजल मिल जाता है, खाने पीने की व्यवस्था मिल जाती है और सब कुछ है। लोग कह रहे हैं कि नए पेट्रोल ये टोल कम टोल ज़्यादा है, लेकिन ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। टोल का सही है, हम लोगों का समय बचत होती है ना। और डीजल माइलेज है, कंफर्टेबल रास्ते में कंफर्टेबल है, नहाने धोने की व्यवस्था सब कुछ बढ़िया है। इस एक्सप्रेस वे बढ़िया कोई अभी तो नहीं है एक्सप्रेस वे।
Drivers reported reduced fatigue, smoother road conditions, improved driving comfort and safer journeys due to controlled access and modern highway design.
हमारे जो फैटीग होता है, जो किसी को थोड़ा सा ड्राउजी हो जाता है ड्राइवर या फिर किसी को नींद आने लगती है, तो उसको भगाने के लिए हमारे यहाँ रंबल स्ट्रिप्स भी दी गई हैं, तो उस फैटीग को भगाने के लिए। और हमारे यहाँ 15 मीटर वाइड डिप्रेस्ड मीडियन है, जिसमें क्या है हमारा ATMS भी प्रोवाइडेड है वहाँ पर।
The Ganga Expressway is more than a road connecting destinations. It is a corridor that compresses distance, saves time, lowers operating costs, and redefines the economics of movement across northern India. India in 2047 will be a nation of 1.6 billion people. Its economy, if the projections hold, will be among the 3 largest in the world. Its cities will be larger. Its farms will need to be more productive. Its supply chains will need to move faster, more reliably, at lower cost. The right roads in the right places, built to the right standard, are foundational to that future. This is what development looks like when it is built at scale. Not a single project, but a chain reaction. A road that makes other things possible. The Ganga has sustained this land for 5,000 years. The road that runs alongside it now is built for the next 100. Viksit Bharat 2047.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
रानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर्थिक मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
आया। असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है।
Right, let's begin this bulletin with some exclusive information coming in from Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The protests in that territory are all set to intensify further. On for more than a month over Islamabad's high-handedness, the residents have decided to snap all talks till the Pak regime changes its attitude. We have a fresh video of protest leader Javed Iqbal exposing Islamabad's atrocities and double-speak at Rawalkot. He says that when the citizens demand basic needs, they are being showered with bullets. He further emphasizes that the people of POK are done with Pakistan. Listen to him, Javed Iqbal.
साल जैसा कि ये चूरन बेचा गया कि हम श्रीनगर को आजाद करवाएंगे। पुत्र है चूरन पुराना हो गया। रावला कोट तू जरा पिंडी टाइम ना डब्बा जाना ना उसने चूरन बेचो हूं चूरन तो सारा कश्मीरी को ऐसा कोई चूरन ना ले लगे। असा की तुसा है असा कश्मीर आजाद करासा 78 साल श्रीनगर दी ट्रक्कां दी बत्ती मगर लाई रखा 78 साल आज पहली बार जिले असा है कि कुछ अरसे श्रीनगर की छोड़ दो आजाद कश्मीर की तरफ भी तवज्जो दो जिसकी तुसा आजाद आने हो असा दे कौन आने सा ये आजादी है लोगो आटा मंगया ता कोली बिजली मंगी ता कोली पानी मंगया ता कोली हुक्मरानी मंगी ता कोली लेकिन उन कोली खाली खान न लगे उन हादी कोली एगो पुत्र सिर दर्द गोली नहीं है जी बार बार सही खा क्या गोली नहीं अख भी कोनी होनी उसरी तकना अगे फायका बैठे या कमरा बैठे है।
All right, journalist Irfan joins us live from Islamabad for more on this. Irfan, you heard the POK leader address the gathering and the protesters and make it clear. He made it clear that they are not going to talk to Pakistan because the Islamabad regime showers them with bullets every time they go to them with genuine demands. How is Islamabad looking at the July 15 protests?
Thank you very much, Abhishek. This guy, Javed Iqbal, he is not a renowned person and he is not the leaders of the protesters. A couple of days back, one of their leaders, he has made it clear that, any statement apart from him, the guy I'm talking about, Umar Nazir Kashmiri, he said that, anyone who gives a statement from the stage will not be considered their opinion. So that means that these guys, they are misusing their stage, and he has made it clear that
Irfan,
their stage has been
I have to interject you there, but you heard those that soundbite, we heard and our viewers heard. It's very clear that what Javed Iqbal is saying has resonance with the crowd there. Did you see the way the crowd responded to what he said?
No doubt about it. There are a few separatists, they are very few, like you can count it on, fingertips. They are like, on hundreds. They are not even on thousands. So Pakistan, Azad Jammu and Kashmir, they have a huge population. They do not represent a single segment of the society. So, I mean, this sit-in, is being staged at 4 places. So Umar Nazir Kashmiri cannot oversee every place every time. So sometimes, one of the guy who comes on the stage and he says whatever comes in his mind. So he does not reflect the Awami Action Committee's agenda and their face. So they are trying to contact government of Azad Kashmir and government of Pakistan. And I believe that there would be a solution before 15th of this month because they have announced.
But they are not talking to you. They are not talking to you. You think there would be a solution because there are no talks. Your defense minister said you cannot trust Mirpuris. Now it's not just about Mirpur and Rawalkot. The long march is happening for Muzaffarabad.
But we have to see in a different context that, general elections are going to take place in 27 July and PMLN is taking part and it's a major party and defense minister, he's, major political leader. So, we should not take his statements very seriously because, his party allies, they say different things. But, when something comes from the mouth of Prime Minister, who is the head of the party, so people should take it serious. Otherwise, we have seen that second or third tier leadership, they say politically whatever suits them. So, so far, I believe that,
Irfan,
there are 2 channels.
Irfan, you are saying there are 2 channels.
Obviously,
there is a sanctioned Sarkari channel, which the Islamabad regime approves of. And maybe they are soft on the government there, but there is another channel which is of Javed Iqbal and others. And I can see that the crowd really supports them. Just hold on to your thoughts. I'm coming back to you for one more question, Irfan. But before that, massive anti-Islamabad protests continuing. Women in Mujahidabad are standing firm against the repression. And they call what they see as illegal occupation by Pakistan. So more visuals, I believe we have more pictures. These are the pictures. Let's listen to them. Right, before I go to Irfan, let me go to Gursimran. He's reporting live from Jammu. Gursimran, this seems like people out there are so full of anger and frustration against Islamabad that it's been more than a month and these protests are not stopping. In fact, they are escalating even further.
Yes, Abhishek, that's correct that the people are on the roads and they are demanding their rights to be given back to them. Now, the statement of Javed Iqbal was being questioned whether he is authorized or not. But the reality is that what he is speaking, it is the reality. Because if you start from 2024, when these Awami Action Committee protests started, he said that when we asked for the wheat, we were pellet with these guns, bullets. When we asked for water, when we asked for the fuel, everything, we were reverted with the pellets by the Pakistani side. And he said that now it is enough. Now we are not going to bear these bullets and we are going to strike back. So this is not something only Javed Iqbal is saying, because this is the sentiment of the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because this movement of the people of POJK, this started with their genuine demands. These genuine demands were that they be provided with the foods and the essentials on the subsidized rate, which was a commitment to them by the federal government. Federal government has always been the one who has been backstabbing the people of Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. So this is not something that they were not authorized to speak or something they have been speaking out of the way. That is the reality. Every Kashmiri in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir has suffered, and he went on to say that we have told the federal government, stop going to the Srinagar, then come back to the Kashmir. That is the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The very tall claims that you make regarding the Srinagar, that is something far off. But first and the foremost priority of the government should be what is happening in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and that is what the people of POJK wanted. This time Pakistani federal government is more rattled for the reason that this time the people have moved beyond the free and subsidized ration and electricity to their democratic rights. They do not want 12 people to be elected from the rest of the Pakistan and then be the people who make decision for them. And when any government in POJK has to be dislodged, it is the federal government using these 12 elected persons to actually dislodge the government.
Right, Gursimran, in fact, you are absolutely right that the intensity of the protest is such that Islamabad is rattled. And why not? Because it's not just limited to Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The protests are spreading far and wide around the world.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Our pure शाही पनीर मसाला, delicious, healthy, every day.
यानी इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. As debater or I'm a crazy debater. Facts everyone has. But I have brought back opinion into journalism because they didn't have the guts. I had the guts, I had the freedom, I had the intellect. I gave it my best shot. I still do it. There's no sense of how much money you want to make. No, it was always how much can you do. I used to be really proud seeing my father in uniform. I realized my father was doing something greater than his own job. If you were to again go back and look at from where you started as a journalist, so much. A junior Rahul would have spoken to a junior Arnab. Which Rahul?
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Right, welcome back, friends. War clouds seem to be intensifying yet again in the Gulf, with both the United States and Iran pulling back from the memorandum of understanding, each side blaming the other for the breach. That's going to be our focus this live and breaking. Let's begin with the headlines first. Second post-mortem report in Tuisha Sharma case. The report links Jim Belt to injuries. Report by AIIMS Delhi. Bengaluru delivery agent arrested for sexually harassing a woman inside a flat. Flipkart releases a statement, distances itself from the delivery boy. Tribal woman gang raped by 6 men after robbery in Madhya Pradesh. Search underway to nab the accused. 40 hostel students fall ill after meal in Maharashtra's Nandurbar. 25 hospitalized. Trump's closest aide in war against Iran, US Senator Lindsey Graham, dies suddenly. Mega support base calls for a detailed probe. Iran's IRGC Navy closes the Strait of Hormuz again until further notice over US interference. And the United States launches third round of strikes against Iran in retaliation to an Iranian attack on a container ship in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, friends. In fact, we are beginning with the breaking news coming in from Vietnam, where the police there have arrested captain of this speedboat, which had overturned, killing 15 Indian tourists. Vietnamese police have arrested this captain, and this happened a while back. The boat had overturned near the southern Phu Quoc Island, killing 15 Indian tourists. Of the 32 that were on board, 16 Indian survivors who were rescued have been discharged from hospital and are returning via Ho Chi Minh City. One victim is still critical and is said to be receiving intensive care in the Phu Quoc Island Hospital. Provincial authorities and tourism businesses have pledged $2,000 support for the family of each victim and $500 for each survivor. In fact, for more on this, let's go to Sarthak, and he's reporting live from Delhi. Sarthak, what can you share about this development that the Vietnamese police have arrested the speedboat captain? Remember, of the 4 crew, all survived. Only the tourists died. Do we have some information about the probe, and what's the status of those survivors who are coming back home to India?
Well, absolutely, Abhishek. Yesterday on July 11, a tourist speedboat that was carrying 32 Indian tourists and 4 Vietnamese crew members, that capsized near this island which goes by the name Phu Quoc Island, and the boat overturned about 400 to 500 meters from the shore shortly after leaving the island. And because of this incident, 15 Indian tourists died, while 21 people were rescued. However, serious injuries, they have inflicted serious injuries. And now the latest that we are getting for our viewers is that the Vietnamese police has arrested the captain of the ship. They have opened a criminal investigation into the incident. They have detained the captain, who goes by the name Migyon Hong Hai. He's a 57-year-old captain of the ship. Vietnamese police alleges that he was responsible for violating Vietnam's inland waterway transport safety regulations, and due to which they are investigating the matter. This is a criminal detention for investigation. He has not been convicted yet, but he happens to be a prime accused for not adhering to the guidelines and the safety regulations of the Vietnamese inland waterway transport. And on that ground, he has been taken into custody by the Vietnamese police. what was the exact cause is still under investigation. But what the preliminary reports indicate that the speedboat had encountered rough seas and due to strong winds shortly after the departure, the boat overturned. The witnesses and the survivors say that the boat overturned within seconds after leaving the shore. And many passengers got trapped inside, and survivors who have also raised concerns about the availability of the emergency medical care right after the SU. So multiple things are happening at this point, but the latest that we are getting for the viewers is the captain of the ship. He has been arrested by the Vietnamese police, and he's been interrogated at this point. Abhishek.
Right. So the captain of the boat that capsized has been arrested. Multiple breaches of norms. It seems that the Vietnamese authorities are realizing, and that's why they have arrested the 57-year-old captain, as Sarthak informed. Thank you so much, Sarthak, for joining us. We'll keep coming back to it. The survivors, remember, the Indian tourists who survived the tragedy are being brought back via Ho Chi Minh City, and of course also the mortal remains of those who did not. Moving on for now, and to the story under focus, and we have a breaking news development in connection with the war situation in the Gulf, and the war clouds seem to be intensifying. In fact, the US military, the Central Command, has said that its forces are prepared to ensure navigation through the strait, and it's open to all vessels. This is almost like a counter-claim to the Iranians, who have said that the Strait of Hormuz is shut. The full statement by the Central Command, CENTCOM of the United States, says that the Strait of Hormuz is open to all vessels seeking to lawfully transit the international waterway. U.S. forces are positioned and prepared to ensure that freedom of navigation remains available despite unwarranted Iranian aggression, harassment, threats, and arbitrary declarations. Iran does not control the strait. Traffic is flowing. US is emphasizing that Iran does not control the Strait of Hormuz. It remains an international waterway, and we are positioned and prepared to keep it that way. That's a statement attributed to the US CENTCOM, and seems like a counterclaim to what the Iranians are saying. We have Professor of War Studies and Geostrategic Affairs expert, Professor Robert Pibb, joining us from the United States, I believe from Chicago, if I'm right. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us, sparing your time. Much appreciate that. My first question, it seems like we are back to square one, and we are seeing hostilities breaking out again.
It's worse than going back to square one. We are going through a very dangerous phase of what I call the escalation trap, where what you're seeing is a power struggle, and what you're seeing is that power struggle is not leading to de-escalation, but what you're seeing is that power struggle is trapping the United States and Iran into an escalation trap where each side is moving up the escalation ladder. And that's happening at a time in Hormuz, with Hormuz and the oil flows, that it's not just cutting down the oil flows so we're back to square one. The oil inventories around the world have been drawn down to such a point already that the world's economy is heading closer and closer to going off that cliff, probably in about a month. So this isn't going back to square one. This is getting more and more dangerous. And there's a second reason this is getting more and more dangerous, which is Iran is moving from survival, which it achieved, to ambition, growing power, that's control of Hormuz, to revenge. And as that moves to revenge, this is very important, because Iran's supreme leader yesterday, he didn't just simply say he wants to deter America from attacking Iran. He said his freedom seekers around the world are going to extract revenge on Americans from the deaths that America has inflicted on them. The leaders killed and the 4,000 Iranians killed. This is a separate pathway, and this will make the Hormuz issue worse.
Right.
Because if Iran does achieve an attack, and keep in mind, this is the supreme leader calling for this, then this will make the issues in Hormuz escalate even more.
Professor, then, if that be the case, then it seems that the people Americans are talking to are a different set of people than those who are actually setting policy insofar as Tehran is concerned, which means that even the United States is going to judge the evolving situation based on their own intelligence assessment rather than the talks. So obviously then, it's like a permanent rupture.
The negotiations, wars often will end with a negotiation, but negotiations do not mean a war is about to end. So I think this is the mistake that people are making. They're equating, if the two sides have people talking to each other, well, they must be going to end the war, right? In Vietnam, the Vietnam War, there were talks here, the peace talks, that went on for 5 solid years while 58,000 Americans were being killed. So the mere fact of talks do not correlate to end of war. It has to be the other way around. War ends first, then you get talk, not talks to end war. And that's the problem people are making. The sequence is off, and that's why the talks really are not having much impact on the war itself.
These reports that suggest that there might be some suicide squads trying to target the American leadership. We saw the row around President Trump's change of aircraft while going for the NATO summit and back. Are you gathering, because you are there in the United States, that this might be serious and that this might actually put paid to whatever possibility was there of a permanent truce between the two sides?
I have studied suicide terrorism for 25 years. I have books on suicide terrorism. I compiled the first complete database of all suicide attacks around the world shortly after 9/11, about 25 years ago, and still maintain that database. So I'm not just a casual observer of suicide attacks. The issue to take seriously is not so much the report of the suicide squads. The issue is the Supreme Leader's statement. This is a call to action. If this were happening by the leader of ISIS, this would be taken more seriously. I don't know why we're deciding to ignore the Supreme Leader of Iran. He is more important than the leader of a terrorist group. That's why it's important to take his words seriously. He's making a call to action. There will be many people, millions of people sympathetic with that call to action, and there will be some who may decide to take up the call. And it's not because they're command directed. It's not because there may be some of those too, but it's what we call inspired attacks could happen because of what the Supreme Leader has said. And I think this is something that, if it happens, if a serious inspired attack happens, this will further inflame the power struggle in the Strait of Hormuz and point escalation even more upward.
Okay, Professor Pape, because you mentioned about the Supreme Leader's statement, remember, we know, for example, in the case of Salman Rushdie, the famous author, there was a fatwa against him, and someone who executed the fatwa or tried to do so as recently as a couple of years back, 3 decades after the fatwa, had Iranian connections. So obviously, if that be the case, then you think that the United States might want to preempt by taking down the new Supreme Leader as well? And that takes us into that escalation trap that you were talking about?
Yes, that will be very likely the initial thought and response by the U.S. government, and this has been the case with terrorist attacks for decades and decades. But leadership decapitation attacks do not stop terrorist attacks. They just don't. We have killed, Israel's killed many leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas. The United States has killed leaders. These are not the ways that these terrorist groups come undone. So this will, even if the United States were to kill the new supreme leader, this would only further enrage and inflame the situation. It's not at all likely to calm it down. However, this is how the spiral of violence continues in the midst of these wars. And it's why a military victory here does not end a war. That is, these are, wars are about changes in the balance of power, and both sides have to agree, all sides have to agree on the new balance of power, or this will go on and on and on.
We are down the rabbit hole again. Thank you so much, Professor Pape, for joining us with that deep perspective on what's happening in the Gulf and how things might go from here on. And while we are on this story, there is another breaking news coming in, which is that Iranian media reports have claimed that an enemy cruise missile, in this case a cruise missile from the United States, was intercepted and shot down by Iranian air defenses on the outskirts of Khurramabad County. Visuals of the reported missile have been accessed by the public. Let's have a look at those pictures. Now, this actually means that Iranians still have the wherewithal to intercept missiles and shoot them down. These are the pictures released by the Iranian media. And I wish if we had Professor Pape, we could have asked whether this reflects on how strongly the Iranians might have regrouped to have the military capability to intercept an incoming American missile and shoot it down. These are pictures from the Khurramabad County, and the Iranian air defenses have successfully intercepted a missile and shot it down. We don't know whether this is an American missile actually or from one of the other nations. Remember, Iran has sent in drones and carried out attacks on American assets in Jordan, in Bahrain, and in the United Arab Emirates in the last 24 hours. In fact, even as tensions escalate further between the United States and Iran, the US has launched a third wave of strikes on some of the Iranian cities and targets. So with the conflict intensifying, questions are whether Iran war is entering a new dangerous phase.
The U.S. immediately launched these airstrikes afterwards, targeting some 140 sites in Iran. Iran had attacked a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, a container ship. It caught fire and the crew abandoned it.
The United States, which, in the midst of a process to forge a diplomatic outcome, betrayed diplomacy by support.
The U.S. military has struck again in Iran. It's the third round of airstrikes we've seen in recent days as an interim deal to end the Iran war looks more in danger than ever before. Iran had attacked a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, a container ship. It caught fire and the crew abandoned it. The U.S. immediately launched these airstrikes afterwards, targeting some 140 sites in Iran. This is the highest number of strikes that we've seen over these days of airstrikes. airstrikes. Now, in response, Iran apparently retaliated with strikes targeting Qatar, Bahrain, and the United Arab Emirates today. Now, Iran has made a lot of other claims as well. Everything seems pretty scattered. But what is known is that missile alert sirens went off in those three countries. It remains unclear if any damage has been done. All this is coming as there had been hopes that negotiations would resume over trying to reach a permanent end to the Iran war, but the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow mouth of the Persian Gulf through which about a fifth of all natural gas and crude oil once passed in peacetime, is central to the ongoing tensions. Now, Iran insists it must have sole control over the strait and be able to charge vessels going through it. That would upend decades of world belief that this is an international waterway, despite it being in the territorial waters of both Iran and Oman.
U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, completed a third round of strikes this week against Iran, July 11th, holding Iranian forces accountable for attacking another commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces hit approximately 140 Iranian military targets with precision munitions launched by land and sea-based fighter aircraft, drones, and naval vessels. Targets included Iranian missile and drone sites, naval capabilities, ammunition storage facilities, communication networks, and coastal surveillance locations. Since early May, U.S. forces have helped facilitate the successful transit of more than 800 commercial vessels and 400 million barrels of crude oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बढ़ाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और मसाला।
बड़े बड़े इम्तिहानों से गुजरता है, वक्त तराशता है जिसे, तो जाने क्या क्या न करता है। जब तक खुशबू सबसे बेहतरीन न बन जाए, आराम के लिए नहीं ठहरता है। जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए, उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है। तभी तो रिचमंड बनना नहीं आसान है।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है, और इसमें उसको भी इंदौर रेफर किया गया है महिला को। वहाँ उनके इलाज के लिए रेफर किया गया है, तो पूरा ख्याल रखा जा रहा है। बाकी हम लोग पूरी टीम यहाँ पे जो है हमारी लगी है, एफएसएल की टीम भी आई है, हमारे जो फिंगरप्रिंट की टीम भी है, हमारे साइबर प्लस जो हमारी आसपास के थाने की टीम यहाँ पे आ गई है। उनको मैंने पूरा जल्दी से जल्दी 24 घंटे 28 घंटे के अंदर में पकड़ को निकालने का प्रयास किया जाएगा पुलिस की तरफ से।
सर, पुलिस ने अभी तक कोई धारा में कार्रवाई की है?
हाँ, पुलिस इसमें जो है चूंकि आदमी इसमें 5-6 बताए जा रहे हैं, तो डकैती की धारा प्लस 376 जो उसने बलात्कार किया है, इसकी धारा इसमें लगेगी।
There is outrage in the area after the incident. Demands are being made for a fair investigation, financial assistance, and the removal of the station in charge. The SP visited the crime scene and instructed officials to take strict action. Officials said investigators had recovered some evidence from the crime scene but declined to share details as the probe was underway.
Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. As debater or I'm a crazy debater. Facts everyone has. But I have brought back opinion into journalism because they didn't have the guts. I had the guts, I had the freedom, I had the intellect. I gave it my best shot. I still do it. There's no sense of how much money you want to make. No, it was always how much can you do. I used to be really proud seeing my father in uniform. I realized my father was doing something greater than his own job. If you were to again go back and look at from where you started as a journalist, so much. A junior Rahul would have spoken to a junior Arnab. Which Rahul?
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट? स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
डॉक्टर रोमा, मैनुअल वाइंडिंग, 4 लोगों के पास है।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा?
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा, आर प्योर मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
की घटना है, यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट
We proudly present to you Indian naval ship Mahendragiri,
I'm here at the Eastern Naval Command, atop INS Mahendragiri. Now, this is the latest stealth frigate in a series of Project 17A ships. This is the 6th ship to join the fleet, and it is a network-centric, AI-capable ship armed to the teeth with BrahMos missiles, medium-range missiles, SRGMs and CIWS. We'll be speaking to various officers on board the ship regarding its capabilities, and this ship definitely packs a punch. We'll be speaking with Lieutenant Commander Jadeja, who will tell us more about the ship's capabilities. Jadeja sir, could you help us with a short introduction of yourself?
I am Lieutenant Dhruva Singh Jadeja. I am appointed as a medium-range gun officer on board. I looked after the medium-range guns as well as the guns which are capable of engaging air targets and surface targets.
Sir, this dynamic war space that has been changing over the years, could you help me with how does this ship compare to the world's best and most capable ships that are there?
It is a modern stealth frigate which is indigenously built. It has a low radar signature, and it is equipped with modern sensors, and have a layered defense which are capable of engaging air, surface and anti-submarine targets. The ship has it is the best example of network-centric operations which enhances the maritime domain awareness as well as reduces the response times at the sea, and it is a preferred security partner of neighboring countries. The ship also has it can watch the sky, the surface and the deep sea at the same time.
I am currently inside the latest stealth frigate of the Indian Navy. This is INS Mahendragiri. We are talking about indigenization, and this is the living motto of indigenization, where over 75% of its content is made in India, researched and built in India. The MDL, along with DRDO and Warship Design Bureau of the Indian Navy, were key critical component providers for this particular ship. And now we'll be speaking with Commander Vamsi, who is the head of engineering for this particular ship. Could you help us understand the various indigenous design components that inspired this ship?
This ship actually embodies the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and majority of the systems, engineering systems, the combat systems, weapons, communications and sensors are indigenous, and it has more than 75% indigenous content. And the best part is that behind these systems are our Indian design agencies and Indian shipyards and several micro, small and medium enterprises which have made this vision possible and made this platform a formidable platform. Our Indian design agencies and Indian shipyards and several micro, small and medium enterprises which have made this vision possible and made this platform a formidable platform.
Sir, you are the head of department for engineering. Help us understand a bit more about your role. What is it that brings you here on this ship today?
The engineering department is responsible to ensure the move component of the ship. So from the top till the bottommost part of the ship, the engine room department has its role in every nook and corner of the ship. We ensure propulsion, power generation and as well as automation, that is through the advanced control systems for the ship, which ensures that the ship is always ready for its mission.
Talking about propulsion, sir, I believe that this ship has a unique propulsion system regarding the dual gas and diesel turbine generators. Could you help us understand a bit more about that?
Yeah, it is correct. The ship is equipped with the advanced and most powerful propulsion system. It is a combination of diesel and gas turbines, and we call it the Kodok propulsion. That is combined diesel or gas turbine propulsion.
So, I also understand that this Kodok propulsion gives it a great mileage in layman's terms, or जैसे हम आराम से पूछते हैं कितना देगी. So this enhances the endurance of the ship. Could you talk a bit more about that?
the design has been so advanced that the modern diesel engines and these propulsion machinery are economical in fuel consumption. So that is how we achieve more mileage, which enhances the survivability of the ship as well.
So I am aboard India's latest stealth frigate, part of Project 17A Mahendragiri. We'll be speaking with Master Chief Abhijit, who is from the Hull department. Abhijit sir, could you help us with a short introduction of yourself and what you do on the ship?
Yeah, myself is Master Chief Hull Artificer Abhijit. I am looking after the hull equipments along with this maintenance and preservation of hull structures on board ship.
Sir, this is the latest stealth frigate of the Indian Navy. Could you help us understand it? Why is it a stealth frigate? What is the difference between a normal ship and a stealth frigate?
Okay, the ship is designed by the Warship Design Bureau and built by the Mazgaon Dock Shipyard Limited in such a way that it has an advanced level of stealth.
So when you say about hull maintenance, could you help us understand more? What does hull maintenance for such a large warship entail?
As a hull artificer, I have to look after the entire structure with the ship is made of, and including the structural members, hull equipments, and all other associated equipments along with that.
Sir, given that this is a seafaring ship, salt water and rusting must be a great challenge. So how do you envisage, what kind of work do you undertake to ensure that the ships are always in peak condition?
The ship is already equipped with equipments for the hull protection and the paint schemes which will protect the hull for a prolonged duration. It is a design feature. The ship will be protected for some long time.
We are here at the bridge of INS Mahendragiri. The bridge is the beating heart and soul of the ship. The captain sits here, the entire command structure sits here, and it is the place where decisions are made. We will be speaking with the navigating officer of the ship, Lieutenant Commander Amok Chawla. Sir, what is the role of a navigation officer on the ship?
So my name is Lieutenant Commander Amok Chawla. I am the navigating officer 2 on board. My role is navigation, flight safety, looking after the aviation facilities and tactical employment of aircraft.
So, sir, the ship of this stature and such a large ship, when it goes out to sea, what are the challenges that a navigation officer faces?
There are various challenges, as you can see, that the Indian Navy is deployed throughout the world. The planning which goes behind such operations and such deployments is the task of the navigating officer. We are responsible for determining how large a distance the ship must cover, at what speed it must go, what kind of weather it will encounter, what kind of sea state will be there. And while catering all these conditions, ensuring that the ship reaches where she is supposed to reach at the designated time and most importantly, safely.
So in this era of network-centric capabilities and so many multi-domain operations taking place, how has the role of a navigation officer changed over the ages?
So as you can see that the ship is fitted with various indigenous weapons and sensors, and these sensors which I am talking about are integrated with a combat management system which is capable of fusing all the information which is gathered from various sensors of the ship and presenting it to the navigating officer or the user. That gives us a situational awareness of the next level, where we can collate and understand what are the things which are likely to be a threat to us in the air, surface and subsurface domain.
Sir, this entire ship today functions on this AI domain and internally combat management system. So how has that evolved over the years?
So as you can see that all the equipment which we have fitted on board are indigenous, and we are the designers. We produce the equipment, we install it and we maintain it. That gives us an edge over others while we are operating these equipment, because they are tailor-made for our requirements. And that is what makes our job on board much more simpler and efficient.
Continuing from the bridge, we have Commander Sumit Singh Chauhan, who is the electrical officer aboard Mahendragiri. And we'll be speaking to him about the various sensor suites, various electrical operations, and the uniqueness of this ship. So, according to you, what does this particular ship have unique amongst the Giri class companions?
So, first of all, I'd like to welcome the Republic team on board Mahendragiri, the latest ship of 17 Alpha class. I am Commander Sumit Singh Chauhan. I am the electrical officer on board Mahendragiri. My role is to ensure all the electrical and weapon systems fitted in this ship are operationally available and combat ready always. Since you asked very specific questions that what is so unique particularly. So first of all, if you see the previous Leander class ships had got only 6 ships in the class. Mahendragiri is the added ship in the Nilgiri class. If you talk about the speciality of the Mahendragiri is the ship is equipped with the indigenized and the state-of-art weapon and sensors, which includes surface-to-surface missiles, surface-to-air missiles, the sophisticated electronic warfare systems, comprehensive anti-submarine systems, and integrated combat management systems. This makes Mahendragiri capable of anti-air, anti-surface, and anti-submarine operations anytime.
Today's ship runs on electricity and it is a very power-hungry beast. So what is unique about this ship's power generation capability?
First of all, I'd like to tell you that there are kilometers of the cabling which is running throughout the ship, from the forecastle to the quarterdeck, from the top to the bottom. The ship is also powered by the large size generators. Compared to the previous ships, we are much larger in terms of the power generation and power distribution.
The ship has over 75% indigenous content. How has that changed the maintenance cycle, and how does it ensure that the ship is sea ready at all times?
So it's a very important part. The ship has got more than 75% of the indigenized content. It's an entire ecosystem of the Navy, the maintenance authorities, the manufacturers, OEMs, and the subcontractors. All have combined towards in delivering the present state. This helps us a lot in carrying out the maintenance on board. The lesson learned which have been from the previous ships, from the manufacturers, from the OEM, helps us in carrying out the defect identification and defect rectification in a quick time, also in the deep seas.
I am currently at the bridge wing of Mahendragiri. Now this is a very unique spot. This is the place where whenever there is another ship alongside and there is personal transfer or there is material transfer like fuel, supplies, this is where everything is controlled from. Project 17 Alpha is the latest iteration of the stealth frigates to be added in the Indian Navy, and this is ensuring that the Indian Navy has the latest in technology. It has AI enabled network centric capabilities, ensuring that the entire fleet where it is operating is connected to each other from the air, sea and subsea domain. Now talking about stealth is imbibed in this entire design from the design stage, from the drawing boards where AI was used to ensure that the entire design of this ship has stealth capabilities, ensuring a low radar signature, deflecting radar signals everywhere. I am at the forecastle of INS Mahendragiri along with Captain Saikat Chatterjee, the commissioning captain of this ship. Sir, tell us about your experience as being the commissioning captain of INS Mahendragiri.
Well, it's an absolute honor and a privilege for me to have been chosen to be the commissioning commanding officer of this fine warship. As you would be aware, this is the 6th warship of P-17 Alpha class joining the Indian Navy today. So it gives me great pleasure and a great honor to be the commissioning commanding officer today on the ship.
Sir, as I understand, this name, INS Mahendragiri, is unique because this was not there in the previous iterations of the Giri class warships. So how do you feel about that you get to write a legacy that has not been there before?
You are absolutely right. The sixth warship in the 17 Alpha class is truly primo temporis, as in it doesn't have a forerunner. It gives us immense pride, as also a great responsibility, because the commissioning crew will be drawing out a new chapter, as also charting our own course. And we are very sure that the ship will make its own legacy.
Sir, this ship is part of Project 17A, which has created this buzz and this phenomenon around being the latest stealth warships. So what do you see as the operational capabilities, and what does this ship add to the Indian Navy?
The warfare today has transformed into multidimensional operations, and one must constantly be aware that the need of the hour is to have ships which can operate far from shores, having the capability to operate anti-surface, anti-air and anti-submarine operations in a highly contested domain. This ship has got all those capabilities, and it is a greater pride for all of us to know and rejoice that most of the weapon systems on board are indigenous.
So coming to the indigenous part, the warship, this particular warship that has been designed by Warship Design Bureau has over 75% indigenous content. So what kind of changes does that bring from more legacy platforms?
Since the design features are indigenous, as in the conception to construction and operationalization, the entire effort has been homegrown. It's very easy to then have controls over the same, and therefore we are also not dependent on any foreign agency. That adds a lot of value and depth to our agencies to incorporate changes and transform with the requirements of the age.
Sir, in this era of network-centric warfare and multi-domain warfare, how are these more advanced ships, and what are the capabilities of these more advanced ships that are unique and are giving a thrust to the capabilities of the Indian Navy at large?
As I said earlier, the most important facet of a warship today is to have sustained presence far away from own shores. These ships especially have a very interesting combination of prime movers, which gives them sustenance over long durations, and therefore we can have our presence at places which the nation desires the Navy to deploy, and this ship is fully capable of doing so.
Behind me is INS Mahindragiri, the latest stealth frigate of the Indian Navy. Now, this is part of Project 17A, the latest design by Warship Design Bureau, and it has a lot of stealth capabilities, from isolated systems to its hull contouring to even the paint that has been used in this creates a formidable foe that remains undetected till the last moment. Now, these systems are backed by a very massive weapons capability, and talking to me will be the XO of the ship, Commander Praveen Kumar, with me, who will tell us more about the capabilities.
My primary role is to ensure that the ship is combat ready at all point of time, and in addition to that, I am also responsible for the administration and the routine running of the ship, including discipline and training to ensure that combat ready at all times.
So you said discipline. Are there what kind of discipline are we talking about?
See, the Navy is run by a set rules. So everybody has to, all those who are there on board that ship, they have to follow those rules and guidelines which are there. And there should not be any deviation in those laid down guidelines. That is the discipline which is there.
So being the XO of the ship, what are the main challenges and what is the role of an XO? If you could elaborate a bit more.
See, it's XO is as XO, the main duty is to run the administration of the ship. Everything and anything which happens on the ship after commanding officer is the responsibility of the executive officer. But XO is also having the responsibility of the principal warfare officer, which includes that all your weapon systems should be ready at all point of time, and you should be war worthy and combat ready.
So talking about the weapons capabilities of the ship, could you help us understand the capabilities of the ship? What makes it so unique and what makes Project 17 Alpha so lethal?
Okay, so as far as 17 Alpha is concerned, whatever best Navy has worldwide is available on board this ship. These ships are a very potent platform with very long legs, I can tell you, and the weapon system which is fitted on board is capable enough to carry out engagement on any threat, to neutralize any threat, whether it is surface, that means on water, or subsurface, which is underwater, or in air. So basically we have the surface-to-surface missile for ships, we have surface-to-air missiles for any aerial threat, and same time we are also capable enough to carry out underwater threat engagement through our torpedoes.
This entire ship has Atmanirbharta in its core because the design was made by Warship Design Bureau keeping in mind the capability of the Indian industry, and the Indian industry has matured with the project because earlier we had to import a lot of tech. The ships were entirely imported from Russia, United States or other places. Now we have ships that are designed in India, built in India and built by Indians for Indian Navy. Now this entire ship is the epitome of technology. It has an AI enabled network centric warfare capabilities and a lot of capabilities that design and make the ship a potent threat to our enemies.
एक घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला यहाँ घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी उंदी लिए हैं और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है और इसमें उसको भी इंदौर रेफर किया गया है, महिला को वहाँ उनके इलाज के लिए रेफर किया गया है, तो पूरा ख्याल रखा जा रहा है। बाकी हम लोग पूरी टीम यहाँ पे जो है हमारी लगी है, एफएसएल की टीम भी आई है, हमारे जो फिंगरप्रिंट की टीम भी है, हमारे साइबर प्लस जो हमारी आसपास के थाने की टीम यहाँ पे आ गई है। इनको मैंने पूरा जल्दी से जल्दी मतलब 24 घंटे 28 घंटे के अंदर में प्रकरण को निकालने का प्रयास किया जाएगा पुलिस की तरफ से।
सर, पुलिस ने अभी तक कोई धारा में कार्रवाई की है?
हाँ, पुलिस इसमें जो है क्योंकि आदमी इसमें 5-6 बताए जा रहे हैं, तो डकैती की धारा प्लस 376 जो उसने बलात्कार किया है, इसकी धारा इसमें लगी।
There is outrage in the area after the incident. Demands are being made for a fair investigation, financial assistance, and the removal of the station in charge. The SP visited the crime scene and instructed officials to take strict action. Officials said investigators had recovered some evidence from the crime scene but declined to share details as the probe was underway.
की घटना है।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा
मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है? आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट, स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है। स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और परेशान, अरे चंकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. As debater, or I'm a crazy debater. Facts everyone has, but I have brought back opinion into journalism because they didn't have the guts. I had the guts, I had the freedom, I had the intellect. I gave it my best shot. I still do it. There's no sense of how much money you want to make. No, it was always how much can you do. I used to be really proud seeing my father in uniform. I realized my father was doing something greater than his own job. If you were to again go back and look at from where you started as a journalist, so much. A junior Rahul would have spoken to a junior Arnab. Which Rahul? Rosa podcast wants to know, but I'm seeing a very soft version of Arnab. What did you expect? A mad guy shouting at the screen. I can't shut up. As debater, or I'm a crazy debater. Facts everyone has, but I have brought back opinion into journalism because they didn't have the guts. I had the guts, I had the freedom, I had the intellect. I gave it my best shot. I still do it. There's no sense of how much money you want to make. No, it was always how much can you do. I used to be really proud seeing my father in uniform. I realized my father was doing something greater than his own job. If you were to again go back and look at from where you started as a journalist, so much. A junior Rahul would have spoken to a junior Arnab. Which Rahul?
की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है, मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी, उसके बच्चे बाहर थे, पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Vietnam police have arrested speedboat captain in connection with the boat capsize incident that killed 15 Indians. Bodies of 15 Indian tourists who died in the boat capsize incident reach Ho Chi Minh City. Arrangements for repatriation to India underway. JAAC sets deadline to implement $38-point charter of demands, calls for a long march to Muzaffarabad from July 15 in Pak-occupied Kashmir. Anti-Pakistan sentiments reach Washington, D.C. Several demonstrations carried out in support of POK. Second postmortem report in Tuisha Sharma case. The AIIMS Delhi report links Jim Bell to injuries. US counters Iran over the Strait of Hormuz, says the Iranian Navy does not control the strait, declares open navigation for all vessels. Trump's closest state in war against Iran, US Senator Lindsey Graham, dies suddenly. Mega support base calls for detailed probe. All right, friends, the massive anti-Islamabad protests continue in Pak-occupied Kashmir. More frustrated citizens, including women, are standing firm against the repression of an illegal occupation. We have pictures coming in from those protests. Let's listen to one of them. These are pictures coming in from Mujahidabad. These are protesters out in the streets. All right, so these are pictures coming in from POK, Mujahidabad. The protesters can be seen coming out and hitting the streets against the high-handedness of the Islamabad regime. In fact, we have more pictures, more protests, and they're all set to intensify even further. And for more than a month now, these protests have been going on over Islamabad's high-handedness. The residents have decided to snap all talks till the Pak regime changes its attitude. In fact, we have fresh video of protest leader Javed Iqbal. He's exposing Islamabad's atrocities and double-speak while speaking or addressing a crowd of protesters at Rawalkot. And there he says that when the citizens demand basic needs, they are being showered with bullets. He further emphasizes that the people of POK are done with Pakistan. Listen to him.
साल जैसा कि ये चरण बेचा गया कि हम श्रीनगर को आजाद करवाएंगे पुत्र है चूरन पुराना हो गया रावला कोट तू जरा पिंडी टाइम ना डब्बा जाना ना उसने चूरन बेचो हूं चूरन तो सारा कश्मीरी को ऐसा कोई चूरन ना ले लगे असा की तुस आए असा कश्मीर आजाद करासा 78 साल श्रीनगर दी ट्रक्कां दी बत्ती मगर लाई रखिया 78 साल पहली बारी जिले असा है कि कुछ अरसे श्रीनगर की छोड़ दो आजाद कश्मीर की तरफ भी तवज्जो दो जिसकी तुसा आजाद आने हो असा को आने सा ये आजादी है लोगो आटा मंगया ता कोली बिजली मंगी ता कोली पानी मंगया ता कोली हुक्मरानी मंगी ता कोली लेकिन उन कोली खाली खान न लगे सिर दर्द की गोली नहीं है जी बार बार असं खा गोली नहीं अख भी कोनी होनी उसनी तगड़ा अगे फायका बैठे या कमरा बैठे ये चूरन बेचा गया कि हम श्रीनगर को आजाद करवाएंगे पुत्र है चूरन पुराना.
All right, that's Javed Iqbal, one of the protest leaders in Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir there, and clearly setting the contours on what's to come this coming week, including the long march on July 15th. In fact, the protests are not limited to POK now. In Washington, D.C., in fact, in the United States, a large number of people from the Pakistani and Kashmiri communities gathered to protest against the alleged killings of innocent Kashmiris in Rawalkot and other cities of POK. 61 killed by Pakistani forces in the last 1 month alone.
मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशकूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटी का, खान का, आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी बहुत सारी मसरूफियात में से अपने बहुत सारे काम काज छोड़ के वीकेंड पे स्कूल बच्चों के प्रोग्राम छोड़ के आप इस मैं फिर भी तहे दिल से मशकूर हूँ आप तमाम लोगों का, मेरी बहनों का, मेरी बेटी का, खान का, आप तमाम हजरात का अपनी बहुत सारी मसरूफियात में से अपने बहुत सारे काम काज छोड़ के वीकेंड पे स्कूल बच्चों के प्रोग्राम.
All right, staying with the story, in fact, these protests have sent jitters down the spine of Pakistani establishment. They have, in fact, increased their paramilitary deployment in POK, and it is, in fact, expected to exceed 17,500 plus personnel ahead of the planned Muzaffarabad march on July 15. The lead protest group, the Joint Awami Action Committee, or the JAAC, has in fact appealed to students and the youth to come out and save their future by joining these protests. In fact, they have said that if you love the people of Kashmir, you should come out tomorrow, that's on July 13th, Monday, and participate in the protest sit-ins, wearing the uniforms, carrying the school bags, so that the authorities know that it's a pan-citizens protest and not limited to some bunch of protesters. This request coming in from the JAAC.
आगे बढ़ने का वक्त, आगे बढ़ने का क्या है? जोर से बताइए, आगे बढ़ने का क्या है? आगे बढ़ने का क्या है? तो इन फोर्सेस से हम पूछना चाहते हैं, शहर कब खाली करोगे? शहर कब खाली करोगे? शहर खाली कर दो। शहर हमारा रावलाकोट हमारा दिल है, खाली करो रावलाकोट खाली करके यहाँ से बाहर निकलो, वरना आवाम के गजब से कोई नहीं बचने वाला। इंशाअल्लाह ताला आगे बढ़ेंगे, पूरी ताकत के साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे, पूरी ताकत के साथ इंशाअल्लाह ताला ताकत के साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे। साथियों, दोस्तों, इन अयाम में न सिर्फ आपने एक दूसरे का बल्कि तहरीक का ख्याल रखते हुए मुझे उम्मीद है।
In a major development in the Twisha Sharma death case, AIIMS Delhi has submitted an 11-page forensic report to the CBI linking injuries on her body to a gym belt, suggesting a possible match that could prove pivotal in determining whether her May 2026 death in Bhopal was suicide or involved foul play. The sealed cover report is expected to help establish the sequence of events amid earlier concerns over evidence handling, including the ligature material not being presented during the initial autopsy. The CBI continues to examine this alongside other medical findings, witness accounts, and scene reconstructions in the high-profile investigation. This is how Tuisha's father reacted to the second post-mortem report.
Actually, this is a good finding because it is not revealing the further it is a strangulation or a suicide.
Right.
It is a report which is suggesting that belt has been used. This is the confirmation that this belt has been used
Yes.
For the crime.
Yes, sir. In fact, there were a lot of mystery surrounding this very belt because it was not submitted in the first investigation, first post-mortem. Even during the second post-mortem, there were doubts whether or not this was submitted. And it was only after the pressure was put in by the High Court that the belt was finally submitted to the AIIMS Delhi team. And now it looks like a good breakthrough, at least in the ongoing investigation, sir.
Yeah, it's a breakthrough, and we are all waiting because we have already filed for. We are actually, basically, we are looking for this report, detailed report, so that we could get as early as possible, so that we can analyze and we can finalize our way ahead. Because there are a lot of things which we initially found out. If they are not matching, we will look forward for our own forensic examination. So we should be satisfied at our end before. First of all, we should get that detailed report, what is there inside, and then we will take future course of action.
All right, sir. So, the 11-page report has now been submitted to CBI. But, sir, last question to you. In fact, before I let you go, overall, sir, with the way the case has been proceeding, how do you look at the investigation so far? And as you mentioned, you will be approaching the court for the detailed report, we understand?
Yes, definitely. So far, the investigation are going smooth, and they are going as per their, norms, and we are okay with that. No issue on that. Yeah.
All right, sir. Republic continues to stand with you, with the family. In fact, as the investigation in this case proceeds for now, thanks so much, sir, for joining us and sharing your reaction on these latest developments. Thanks so much, sir.
An 18-year-old student from Telangana's Hyderabad, Manideep Reddy, who went missing in Finland in May, has been found dead in Helsinki. Manideep Reddy, who was studying in Finland, was last seen at a supermarket in the Finnish capital on May 5. He had travelled on a train around 5 p.m. local time and was last seen in a K-market at around 8 p.m. Later, a body was found in the sea during the search conducted by authorities and the body was identified as that of Indian student Manideep, who went missing. And now the family of Manideep is disputing the claims by Finnish authorities and say that the body found in the waters is not their son. As per the family, police told them they had identified the boy as Manideep but refused to share a picture when they demanded proof of identification. Now, the family says the identification is false and is urging the Finnish police and the investigators to provide concrete evidence confirming that it is indeed their deceased son.
और ये बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट न्यूज़ आई है, लेकिन आप बोल रहे हैं कि जो बॉडी जो अभी डिस्कवर हुई है, पुलिस ने कोई पिक्चर नहीं भेजा है।
हाँ, सच है ये बात।
अच्छा, पुलिस अभी क्या बोल रही है आपको? जो फिनिश अथॉरिटीज़ हैं, आपको क्या बोला है?
क्या बोला है? कुछ भी नहीं बोला है। यहाँ ऐसा बोला है, कार्ड्स है, ये का बेटा है बोल के कंफर्म कर देते हैं एकदम से। कुछ प्रूफ्स नहीं है, डीएनए टेस्ट नहीं है, मेरा बेटा है बोल के मुझे कंफर्म ही नहीं करे। कितना क्वेश्चंस पूछे हम, उसका आंसर ही नहीं दिए। फिर इन लोग कंफर्म करके पेपर में भी रिलीज कर दिए। ऐसा थोड़ी होता है। मेरा बेटा बोल के मैं कंफर्म नहीं करना है क्या?
अच्छा, यस
किसका हक है मेरा बेटा मुझे नहीं दिखाने के पहले कंफर्म करने के लिए? मैं प्रूफ किया हूँ क्या मेरा बेटा है बोल के? हाँ, पूरा मीडिया में कैसे स्प्रेड करते हैं ये बात सही या गलत कंफर्म ही नहीं किया, ऐसा कैसे स्प्रेड कर दिए? कौन से हिसाब से स्प्रेड कर दिए?
आपने लास्ट टाइम कब बात की थी मणिदीप से?
4 मई को कॉल किया, बात किया हूँ मैं।
अच्छा।
हाँ, 2 महीने से उनको कुछ भी नहीं मिला है। अभी मैं प्रेशर कर दिए तो 1 वीक में 16 को हियरिंग है कोर्ट में, ये 1 वीक में बॉडी मिल गया उन लोग को। 3 बार ढूंढ चुकी है वो सी को, हाँ, कभी कुछ भी नहीं मिला है। अभी 16 तारीख को जजमेंट है बोल के ऐसे ही मिल गया बॉडी, इतना इजी से।
All right, moving on to Manipur, the controversy over the unauthorized bridge there has taken a fresh turn. Days after Republic highlighted questions over the bridge's construction without government approval, a cookie organization, in fact, has come out and criticized this channel's coverage. However, the bigger question remains, how was such a massive structure built without the state government's knowledge?
Last week, Republic broadcast following the report of the controversial bridge that was constructed without government approval. The Cookie Group, Cookie INPI, has now written an open letter criticizing Republic for calling the bridge a conduit bridge. They have now said bridge will not be misused, adding that it was built with the money from contributions to end the sufferings and drowning in the area.
The controversy surrounding the unauthorized bridge across Manipur River has taken a new turn. Just a day after the state security forces had been deputed to verify the construction, the bridge was inaugurated today before any action could be taken by the authorities. The bridge, which connects Singhu village in Churachandpur district with Walku village in Chandal district, had already drawn widespread attention after authorities concerned reportedly denied having any knowledge of the project or granting permission for its construction. This development has further intensified security concerns. The bridge is located in a sensitive area where, according to local sources, smugglers had allegedly been transporting narcotics and arms by crossing the Manipur River to avoid security checkpoints on the main roads. With the bridge now operational, concerns are growing that movement across the river could become even easier if adequate surveillance is not put in place.
However, the fact remains that this bridge is not authorized by the government and not cleared. The Chief Minister of Manipur told reporters he wasn't even aware and that he would now gather facts.
Chaduga Chandel the Handak Tong Masangaki Bagingarang, Paum Lysit Langak, Kangho, the Harry Sikamina to Putanota. The official in a Pagi Togibali take what day another Minama.
Now, how did the state government not know? Especially when they say villages paid for it, the entire episode shows negligence by the state.
Mipia kona loan hanlang freya kimuyong le lak som gate le lak ko le sang som li obliga kona hen 2,65,75,352 crore ni le lak som gup langa sang som sagi langa le jatum la som ala cheng ni hi nam se pion ke to do hi tu na report cham cha kan pe hinten.
How is it possible that such a bridge was constructed across the river with thousands attending the inauguration and the government just doesn't know? The bridge is now being celebrated by cookie groups.
Government of Manipur in a door here lang hile kahung lo de hin singat pale chandil enle ho ngan si thi hi ai wa nga ho government la akale sei se jong ha ne pen ai wa nga tu ne mu thi na sapien bol do Government of Kulmi Gamo that was always a more kipapi more who get this you can see.
The bridge is constructed a short distance from high security locations. Regardless of this controversy, how the bridge came into being is now becoming the focus.
The concern becomes even more serious because the bridge is located close to high security areas. How did the state government didn't know about this massive project? So today, this issue is no longer just about a bridge. It is about accountability. Who allowed this construction? Who ensured there was no government oversight? And how did such a major infrastructure project come up without the knowledge of the very government responsible for regulating it? On March 21, 2024, the Danish state government, through the Deputy Commissioner of Chandel, had issued a written order directing that the purpose bridge construction be stopped immediately. Yet after 2 years later, a new bridge has not only been completed but also inaugurated.
Staying with the northeast, from Manipur to Assam, where a massive crackdown on narcotics carried out by the Assam government has destroyed drugs worth 472 plus crore rupees in one of the biggest disposal drives in the country. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma personally led the exercise after inaugurating a new drug incinerator in Nalbari district of the state, calling it Assam's anti-drugs campaign, a model for the nation.
Assam has intensified its war against narcotics with one of the country's largest drug destruction drives. Drugs worth over 472 crore rupees were destroyed simultaneously across the state. Officials said nearly 60 kilograms of heroin, cocaine, and over 37,000 kilograms of ganja as well as 80 kilograms of opium will be destroyed over the next 10 days. The disposal drive aims to ensure that the seized narcotics never re-enter the illegal market. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma also inaugurated a new high-capacity drug incinerator at the 14th Assam Police Battalion in Daulasal, Nalbari. The newly commissioned incinerator will now serve as a dedicated facility for the scientific disposal of seized narcotics.
Drug worth rupees 472 crore were destroyed by the Assam Police on Sunday at the 14th Assam Police Battalion in Dolahal. The destruction of the drug was led by Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. In the seizure, which was made over the last more than 5 years, morphine worth around 40 crore, opium worth around 4 crore, cocaine worth around 24 lakhs, yaba tablet worth around 80 crore, heroin worth more than 117 crore were destroyed in presence of the top officials of Assam Police.
According to the state government, Assam Police has seized narcotics worth over 3,227 crore rupees over the last 5 years.
Speaking to the media, Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma said that in the last 5 years, drug worth more than 3,200 crore has been confiscated by the Assam Police, and as the war on drug continues, he also appreciated the initiative taken by the Union Home Ministry along with the other states to build up a network for sharing interstate intelligence as far as the drug manic or trafficking is concerned. He also appreciated the inputs received from foreign agencies as far as the international cartel of this drug is concerned, and expressed hope that with the support of the center and the initiatives being taken by the Union government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Home Department headed by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the war on drug can be won globally.
The Chief Minister said the intelligence shared by agencies in Myanmar has helped Assam Police bust several cross-border drug syndicates. He added that the drug traffickers are increasingly using drones and technology, making intelligence sharing crucial than ever. He also credited regular coordination meetings led by the Union Home Ministry and better cooperation between states for strengthening anti-drug operations.
Once we normally arrest the trafficker, and the trafficker will be a very simple person. But from his mobile, from his movement, from his interrogation, you have to develop forward and backward linkages. And forward and backward linkages goes beyond the geography of Assam. So interstate coordination is very, very important.
He also stressed on the fact that the drug that has been confiscated in the state of Assam is only 10% or around 20% of what the net traffic is concerned as far as the trafficking of drug in the state is concerned. He also stressed that the way Assam is being used as a networking point or a transit route.
With stronger enforcement, international cooperation and faster disposal of seized contraband, Assam is set to continue its zero tolerance campaign against drug trafficking and organized narcotic networks.
The rivalry between two of Silicon Valley's biggest names, tech bros, has just turned even more bitter. Elon Musk has launched a fresh attack on OpenAI CEO Sam Altman after Apple sued the ChatGPT maker over alleged theft of trade secrets. Calling him Scam Altman, Musk accused the OpenAI chief of taking scamming to a whole new level, escalating an already high-profile feud over the future of artificial intelligence. Here are the details.
The AI rivalry has taken another sharp turn. Apple has sued OpenAI over alleged theft of trade secrets, after which OpenAI claimed that they have no interest in trade secrets. But now the lawsuit has triggered a fresh war of words. Elon Musk has targeted OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Musk called him Scam Altman. He said Sam Altman takes scamming to a whole new level. But Sam Altman himself did not hold back. His retort is that Musk was the one selling public market investors on short-term space data centers. Musk's remark comes as Apple accuses OpenAI of misappropriating confidential information for its AI hardware efforts. Musk, who co-founded OpenAI in 2015 before leaving the company, has reportedly accused OpenAI of abandoning its original non-for-profit mission. The feud between Musk and Altman has been brewing for years over OpenAI's direction, governance, and commercial strategy. With Apple now entering the fray, the battle for AI supremacy is playing out both in the marketplace and in the courtroom.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाए जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग असली स्वाद असली मजा
MTH थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
बजे की घटना है। मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। हाँ, रात में 2-3 बजे की घटना है। मैं यही घटनास्थल भी आया हूँ। जो रात में घटना घटी उसमें महिला घर में अकेली थी। उसके बच्चे बाहर थे। पति उसका जो है डेथ हो गई है। उसके घर में 2-3 बजे के आसपास कुछ लोग घुसे, 5-6 लोग बता रहे हैं, और उसमें जो है उनके साथ उनके घर में पूरी सर्च किया, उसका सामान चांदी लिए हैं, और उसके साथ बलात्कार की घटना भी किया गया है। साथ ही कोई उसमें और उसके इंटरनल पार्ट में इंजरी है, जिससे लगता है कोई मटेरियल वगैरह कुछ उसके साथ जो है प्रयास किया गया है। इसके बारे में पूरी जानकारी डॉक्टर से ली जा रही है।
Very warm welcome viewers to the latest edition of Republic Defense, and I am Rakshita Mishra with you in this edition of the show to bring you from India's masterstroke in Malacca to how the Pahalgam mastermind will be brought to the book. And now we also bring you the latest that has come in from Visakhapatnam today, as the Defence Minister of India, Rajnath Singh, has commissioned INS Mahendragiri. All that and much more on this edition of Republic Defense. All right, so in a mega boost to India's stealth firepower, India's 6th Nilgiri stealth class frigate, INS Mahendragiri, was commissioned today, equipped with the BrahMos missiles. Over 75% indigenously built, INS Mahendragiri has been commissioned in the Bay of Bengal today, guarding the eastern coast of India. The warship will undertake full spectrum of the maritime operations and can counter air, surface and the submarine threats. So let's understand more through graphics, viewers, and then we show you what the Raksha Mantri has said today. So viewers, INS Mahendragiri is, as we told you, 6th Nilgiri class stealth frigate. Very, very important for Project 17A of India. Over 75% indigenously built. So boost for Atmanirbharta, boost for Make in India. And the radar evading stealth architecture is what it boasts of. So yes, that's why it's the stealth frigate. It's equipped with the BrahMos missiles. And in fact, everybody knows about the superpower, the impact of the BrahMos. It's armed with the torpedo tubes and rocket launchers. And very important for a stealth frigate, it features the ICMS and the advanced tracking sonar as well. So it's the unseen warrior in the seas. Its operational facility, it has the operational facilities for helicopters. That's why it can counter threats on all fronts, even surface or air. So viewers, this is INS Mahendragiri, and it was commissioned today by none other than the Raksha Mantri of the country, Rajnath Singh. Listen to what he said.
नई टेक्नोलॉजी ने युद्ध का स्वरूप अवश्य बदल दिया है, किंतु उनको कन्वेंशनल वारफेयर के मीन्स का महत्व कम नहीं किया है। युद्ध के जो मूल सिद्धांत हैं उनकी पूर्ति के लिए जो स्ट्रांग कन्वेंशनल कैपेबिलिटी आज भी उतनी ही आवश्यक है जितनी पहले थी। फ्यूचर वार्स मे बी फॉट विद आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, बट दे विल स्टिल बी वन by national resolve, trained soldiers and the capable military power.
All right, viewers, now shifting focus to the focus of the country on Indo-Pacific. America can say anything it wants, but India is redefining the Indo-Pacific ties. Over the years, viewers, we have one threat, that is China. It has visibly attempted to surround India. We're talking about the string of pearls. It has done so by taking over the port developments and establishing maritime bases in Pacific Ocean, in the South China Sea, and even the Indian Ocean. Like we saw the Hambantota port, we talk about Sri Lanka, we talk about what it's doing in Bangladesh. Now, in Prime Minister Modi's recent visit to Indonesia, India inked two crucial deals. One, to sell BrahMos and Astra missiles to Indonesia. And second, very importantly, to develop Indonesia's Sabang port. And this is the Indian recipe to checkmate China. Now let's first understand what has China been doing through what is being called the string of pearls, viewers. Let's just take a look at how we understand this string of pearls via graphics, viewers. So first of all, we're going to show you via map. You can see this is India, and this is the entire the seas, the ocean that China is trying to expand its footprint. So from Myanmar's port here to Bangladesh, Chatgam, that is Chittagong, and the Mongla port. There's the latest deal that has happened, viewers, between Bangladesh and China. Sri Lanka, Hambantota port, and a very old story there. And also Laos, these are the areas, and this entire Maldives, viewers. Maldives also where China has exercised its influence right up to Pakistan. The CPEC, that is the BRI, that is the flagship project of the Chinese, and the Gwadar port. So, and also not to forget Djibouti in Africa. China has built its military bases there. So you see this entire viewers string. It's called the string of pearls, and that's how China has attempted to encircle India. The entire peninsula, you see that China has expanded its influence. But how is India countering that? That is the big question. The latest example is, viewers, how Prime Minister has been on this three-nation tour. India is also trying to engage with Myanmar, and obviously we talk about the Sabang port. The Sabang port, viewers, this is India's counter necklace of diamonds. How India is trying to, in fact, redefine its ties with Japan. We saw the bonhomie between the two leaders, also Sanai Takaichi also, and the Prime Minister. You have the Tri-Services Command here at the Andamans. Not to forget the Great Nicobar project also that's in the works. In Indonesia, here is the Sabang port, and the Strait of Malacca is right here, viewers. Now the Malacca is very, very sensitive. In fact, it is known to be even more crucial for supplies, especially of Chinese goods, something more than Strait of Hormuz. We've seen how the blockage of Strait of Hormuz by Iran brought the entire supply for the world to stand still. So in times of war tomorrow, can China be also put in the back foot? Well, India is trying to do that. India is now trying to put out this master stroke via this Sabang port partnership. India is investing into it. It's going to build this, and here it will, in fact, now have, in a way, try to rule it. It will exercise its control over the Strait of Malacca. That's very, very important. And if we talk about the others, Mauritius, Seychelles, India just had, in fact, another joint military exercise with Seychelles, Oman and Iran. India has, of course, a great investment in Chabahar port. So this is how India is countering the string of pearls with a necklace of diamonds. And the latest diamond, I would say, is the Sabang port, viewers. And not just that, viewers. Talking about India's military partnerships, BrahMos belt is also being formed. Historic defense pact has been locked with Indonesia. India has, in fact, Indonesia is the third Southeast Asian buyer of BrahMos after Vietnam and Philippines. And in fact, Indonesia's first customer of India's Astra Mk1 missile. It's roughly $200 million deal that has been locked by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. All right, so to understand more about this Malacca master stroke, let's get into a conversation with Mr. Rajiv Bhatia, former Indian diplomat. Ambassador Bhatia, very, very honored to have you here on Republic Defense. And sir, we see how there's great significance to the three-nation tour of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And the case in point is the Indonesia visit, from BrahMos to Astra missiles. We also have the Sabang port deal, sir. Do you feel that all this is, in a way, strategically checkmating China in the seas?
Thank you very much for inviting me to your show. And thank you, by starting off a question which is of great interest in public today. The basic rationale of this very well conceived trip of Prime Minister to 3 countries very much was to focus on the maritime dimension of India's relations with the countries in the East. And I think we should remember that July, therefore, has become the month of Indo-Pacific, especially if we remember that in this month itself, Prime Minister also received the Prime Minister of Japan as well. So now you have a situation where we are focusing on Indonesia. Indonesia is a country of great importance because of its geostrategic position. It is in a kind of a dominant situation in the Indian Ocean. It connects India and our part of the Indian Ocean to well beyond Indonesia to Australia. So to come to the central point of your question, whether the tour was with reference to China, I would be quite honest and say that the vision behind this tour goes beyond China, but certainly China also plays a role to shape it. I think, why do I say this? Very simple reason. India is fully aware, those informed people who follow these matters are fully aware of the basic connections, historic connections, civilizational connections between India and Indonesia. For many, many times in the past years, attempts have been made to strengthen this relationship. But I think I can say from my personal perspective, having served in Jakarta several decades back, that the kind of energy and enthusiasm and excitement the relevant people are feeling and experiencing today is fairly unique. So it is the larger perspective, but at the same time, I think the China factor, particularly the changing or transforming nature of China-US rivalry, where these two countries, instead of combating each other or competing with each other, they are now trying to become good friends. And in that situation, naturally, countries such as India, Japan, Indonesia, Australia, others have to increase their cooperation to counter this new situation.
Yes, sir. But, we were focusing on China because we've seen that we talk about the string of pearls time and again. Now, India also is trying to counter that. So you feel that this is important in view of what has been happening with China also now trying to make proposing or planning a corridor in the east, a CPEC-style corridor that is going through Bangladesh and Myanmar as well, sir?
Well, China is a country which understands the language of strength.
Yes.
If you are strong, China respects you. If you are weak, China handles you in a different manner. This is the 101 in terms of China. But at the same time, for us, the media and the strategic community in India, we should be a little careful when we are talking about China.
Okay.
China is a country with which government is running a very well-calibrated policy.
Okay.
The whole idea is that we maintain good, cordial relations with China.
Right.
And we create a situation in which the hostility or the adversarial nature of the relationship gets diminished or minimized. Effectively, India's policy is to manage China wisely. And
absolutely,
if we put the two things together, we are showing our strength. You rightly said, these missiles pacts, they are of great importance. Sabang project is of great importance. But most important thing is that there is a new political synergy between Delhi and Jakarta, which we must take note of.
Right. Absolutely. Rightly pointed out there. And many thanks for your reading of the situation, Ambassador Bhatia. Thank you so much for joining us on Republic Defense.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Now, for only the third time since its inception, the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, openly slammed a terror attack. And that was the cowardly Pahalgam terror attack in 2025. NIA recently filed an additional charge sheet in the Pahalgam terror attack, which named Lashkar-e-Taiba and its proxy TRF, as well as the terrorist Hafiz Saeed as the mastermind, who is the chief of both. And it's now put on judicial record by the NIA. So this supplementary charge sheet makes it clear that the attack was financed and executed by Pakistan-based organizations, strengthening its case against Pakistan. This is what India intends to use as evidence now in FATF, viewers. We'll tell you how, what could be the next step, why this naming of Hafiz Saeed is important for the NIA and for India, of course, to bring justice. Now, viewers, we talk about nailing Pakistan's role. We talk about how this can be used to build a case in the FATF. Now, India will be, of course, intending to push Pakistan back in the grey list because it was out in 2022. Somehow it escaped. Now, India will use the videos, India will use all that it has to prove that it was Pakistan's role, that it was these terrorists who are on Pakistan's soil who have in fact orchestrated this entire attack. Pahalgam terror financed by Pakistan also. And remember, Republic TV has broken the story of how the digital hawala was also used so as to sponsor terror on Indian soil. India will also be presenting video proof and actionable data to build a case. So this is because FATF watch list has a grey list and a black list. It was on the grey list and Pakistan somehow escaped in 2022. And now this becomes a case in point to, in fact, India to advocate for bringing it back to the grey list. India has, in fact, named Hafiz Saeed as both the chief of Lashkar-e-Taiba and the TRF also, which is a proxy. Now, let us understand, viewers. There have been in the past where FATF former chiefs have also been condemned this attack. And viewers, let's understand now what really can be done from the strategic point of view, from the military point of view as well. We have been joined by defense expert Major Samar Paltur on the broadcast. Welcome to Republic Defense. And it's a well-known fact that it was Lashkar-e-Taiba behind the Pahalgam terror attack. Now the chief has been charge-sheeted by the NIA. He has been named as the mastermind. What next do we expect from here that India can do about this?
Rakshita, you see, with the present developments that are taking place and the agitations which are at an all-time high, India is definitely going to use this as a leverage. We are going to go to the FATF. Basically, the IMF is going to be apprised with the brochure, with the evidence, and with the charge sheet that Hafiz Saeed was definitely involved in the Pahalgam attacks. And he's a wanted terrorist, a UN-designated terrorist. And, the financial assets needs to be frozen for Pakistan. There needs to be more restrictions put, there needs to be more checks and balances as to what are they doing with their money. And you see, it has become more complex because now Pakistan is officially, involved into cryptocurrency on behalf of the Americans.
Yes.
So even if they are not going to get a bailout package from the IMF, this certain cryptocurrency infrastructure and the business that they've started, on the behest of the Americans is what is going to actually get them out from the debt, and that is where they're going to make the money. So it is entirely up to the FATF fraternity, their teams, how they're going to uncover the financial frauds and how they've been diverting their funds, bypassing the IMF, to carry out these fundings. Even the Markazas after Op Sindoor have been perished. They've been destroyed. However, again, money is coming. Again, they've started the reconstruction work, the relocation work of these Markazas. So where is the money again coming from is the big question.
Sir, also the fact that the Vice President is Mr. Vivek Agarwal, who's from India, of the FATF. You feel that can also play a major role, number one. And number two, sir, what other ways can be, in fact, pushed so that Pakistan can be brought back to the FATF's grey list, sir?
I certainly feel that all the evidences and brochures of all the terror attacks should again be compiled together. And, they should be put in front of the FATF. Because until and unless that is not done, it is not going to have much of an impact. So FATF is definitely the jugular vein for the Pakistan economy. And it is what is keeping Pakistan afloat at the moment.
Also, another question, sir, as an Indian, one would want that that Hafiz Saeed should be, treated and should be brought to justice. Now, we've seen examples of Osama bin Laden. We've seen examples, many such examples, what the United States has done. But can India take any action, any such action, now that it's of course a charge sheet? The legal system will also work accordingly. But you feel in the future, any sort of other action that can be taken by India?
I certainly feel that what the Indian armed forces and the agencies can do is, carry out these digital investigations, these digital attacks and digital freezing of their funds, and we need to look into the proper, connection of the dots. And all this is happening only with the approval from the top.
Right.
So had they not had the approval from the top, these instances wouldn't have happened at all.
Yes.
So this is one of the major reasons that we are investigating that, the FATF has failed in the crackdown on the terror financing. Let us be very clear about it. It is still happening. Okay. And especially Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, their leaders have been roaming freely. We've seen it at Shoaib Akhtar's brother's funeral. We've seen it with the Shahid Afridi backing them up. We've seen it at the funeral during Op Sindoor, that they were, shoulder to shoulder with the Pak military. So you see, Pakistan's commitment is in serious doubt. That the way they welcome Mr. Banga, the way they, were trying to convince him for a bailout package. But you see, this is an ecosystem which is very, very diluted, which is corrupt and fragile. Now, why do I say corrupt? It is the Americans who promised to get Pakistan the bailout package only on one condition, that they provide the ammunition that Ukraine requires in terms of small, medium and large categories.
Absolutely.
Right from mortar shells to artillery shells to small arms and their ammunitions has been, being provided by the Pakistanis on the behest that they will be given an IMF bailout, and they did receive the IMF bailout.
And it's the same US which calls for